isn't taking their FCS opponent lightly as the Gardner Webb Bulldogs visit Heinz Field next on ESPN3. This is the Steel City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Heinz Field, the backdrop for today's college football matchup between the running Bulldogs of Gardner Webb at 0-3 and the 1-2 Pitt Panthers. Hi, everybody. Sean Kinney alongside former Navy coach John Gregory. Welcome to college football on ESPN3. What a difference a week makes. Pittsburgh opened the season with back-to-back losses, but last week they made the world right as they took care of business, upset 13th-ranked Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and this week it's really all about themselves. You know, when you're playing that FBS, FCS, it's all looking at yourself and how you're going to react to it, and can you step up and play big 2 weeks in a row.
The big reason for the success last week for Pittsburgh was the ground game. Two running backs who really stepped up.
Well, you got kind of... You see number 4, Russell Shell. This guy is a physical runner, 215 pounds, just a freshman. But Coach Chris wants to know, who are you? You showed well last week. You finished runs off strong, but can you do it week in and week out? And that's what they want to find out about this young kid.
The other bonus for Pitt, they have a healthy Ray Graham back as well this year, and the senior providing some much-needed leadership on the offense.
Yeah, Ray Graham, he's kind of the lightning on this side. You know, he wasn't expected to play last week against Virginia Tech, did a great job, almost had 100 yards on the day, but he's had a better week of practice this week, so they're really expecting a lot from him today.
Not much has went right for Gardner Webb this year. They're off to an 0-3 start with a difficult schedule, but they view today as an opportunity, and why not? They have some young stars on both sides, starting with their defense.
Yeah, certainly two sophomores out here that have played very well so far. When you're talking about number 55, Tanner Birch, he's the leader of this defense. He's the leader in the Big South in tackles. He had 16 last week. He loves to get his nose dirty. Look for him to play well today.
And on the offensive side of the football, quarterback Lucas Beatty is coming off a career game.
And here's a guy that's just a sophomore too, was injured at the end of last year, had no spring, no summer workouts with the guys, but he shows a leadership that these coaches really love, and the players like to play for him, so he's going to have to play well today against a very aggressive Pitt defense.
It was 3 weeks ago today that a Youngstown State team came to Heinz Field and pulled off one of the bigger shockers so far in this young college football season. Can fellow FCS member Gardner Webb provide an encore? Panthers and running Bulldogs next. Beautiful day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Heinz Field, the setting. Gardner Webb and the Pitt Panthers about to collide. Let's go down and meet our third partner in today's broadcast, Rontina McCann.
Pittsburgh's Paul Chris says no disrespect to Gardner Webb, but the competition out there for the Panthers today is Pittsburgh playing Pittsburgh. After that early season loss, their first game here at Heinz Field to Youngstown State, an FCS team, the Panthers definitely got rid of that disappointment early on in their season, refocused, and if they can pull out the win today, they'll go into October in the heart of their Big East schedule at 2-2. So definitely a turning point for the Panthers here today, guys.
Consistency the key, and John, you heard that word quite a bit throughout the course of the week when talking with the Pitt coaches and players. They want to put back-to-back weeks together, and here's a great opportunity. Build a little momentum for the rigors of the Big East schedule.
That's exactly right. I circled the word, I circled key, and it's can you repeat it? Can you repeat what you did last week, whether it's from a running back position or from a team standpoint?
Redshirt senior Kevin Harper having some trouble with the football as he gets set to tee this one up. First ever meeting between these two programs. Gardner Webb out of the Big South Conference, an FCS program. Pittsburgh obviously from the Big East. Harper lining up his covered unit. We are ready to go. College football here on ESPN3. Harper with a squib kick that will be fairly from the 10. Fairly with a little bit of a seam. Cuts up ahead to the 27-yard line. Return of 17 yards as the Gardner Webb offense will come out, led by the redshirt sophomore Lucas Beatty. Beatty making only his 4th start since major knee surgery. He tore his ACL last year, split time a season ago for this running Bulldog team, the Olympic High School standout. Big South Offensive Player of the Week. Had a huge game against Sanford, 30 of 43, 320 yards in that loss last week, but he really showed some poise, and again, coming off that knee surgery, more confidence, more repetitions. Open up with the shotgun and right to the air. Pass is caught. Marker comes in as well, up ahead to the 37-yard line. So what the penalty is all about, Carlton Hurd with the reception.
Illegal shift. Number 81 in the offense. Player was moving while the other player was in motion. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Let's go ahead and meet the running Bulldog offense in the backfield. They have a couple of talented backs, Kenny Little and Juwan Blunt. Little will get the start. Cook is the leading receiver. Hudson Smith, a very physical tight end. Up front, they return 3 starters from last year, Austin Sargent and Steve D'Amelio, the 2 leaders, D'Amelio at right tackle. After the penalty, quick screen out near side. Kenny Cook makes the catch. Minimal pickup as he is tripped up by K'Wan Williams. Let's meet the Pitt Panther defense, coming off a solid performance last week. Ezell and Clemmings, along with Brian Murphy, who's banged up. Up front, Shane Gordon played a very physical game last week. He patrols the middle. It's a fairly inexperienced linebacking core. And they have some veterans in the secondary with Holly and Williams, Lafayette Pitts. Secondary that picked off 3 Virginia Tech passes a week ago. Second and 12 from the 26. We will get our first look at Juwan Blunt. And Blunt into the secondary. He barrels up near the 40-yard line. Good hole over the right side, and Blunt, the banger in the backfield, picking up good yardage.
Nice yardage here, and keep the chains moving for this football team. Kind of got behind the yardsticks a little bit with that penalty, and you want to get that field position. Like the way he finished this run. A lot on the other side. We talk about shell finishing runs. Sticks his head down here, knows where that first down marker is, and was able to get those extra yards to pick it up.
See a good look at Ron Dickerson Jr. in his second year guiding this Gardner Webb program. First and 10 from the 39. The eye look, they will give it to Kenny Little, who tries to cut to the outside. Just too much speed there. Brian Murphy, the defensive end, able to cut off his angle.
For the running Bulldogs, number 6, Kenny Little.
Ron Dickerson Jr., his second year, the 1996 graduate of Arkansas. He described himself as a sponge when talking with him. He has learned under his father, Ron Dickerson Sr., intern for Tony Dungy back in the 2001 year for Tampa Bay. He loves to listen.
Now, that's the key, I think, to anything. He's teaching the players the same thing. That's what you want to do. You want to learn, you better have open ears.
This is Kenny Little, nowhere to go. Shane Gordon, the first one to blow up the play, along with T.J. Clemmings.
I like how you describe it, blow up the play, and penetration like that, that'll blow up any here, and very aggressive. He's starting to get very comfortable in the linebacker position. They talked about how he's settling down and making plays, and here's a good example of it.
So for the first time on this opening drive, Gardner Webb looking at third down. 3rd and a long 7 for Lucas Beatty. It's two receivers to the right, and we have a marker, and I think they took too much time.
Prior to the snap, delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
So the second mistake made by the Bulldog offense on this opening drive. Too much time in the huddle, making it third and double digits.
Yeah, Ron Dickerson, that time a little frustrated with his young quarterback. I mentioned just a sophomore, not a whole lot of experience, so got to get him up to the line of scrimmage. You get into a place like this, a little bit more hostile against a bigger and stronger team. You got to get you guys emotionally to the line of scrimmage and have them ready to play.
Kenny Cook to the top of the field, the big play receiver. They need a big play here. Beatty sets up a screen near side, the tight end. Nuh-uh. Ball pops loose on the hit. Looks like Pitt jumped on it. Oh, they're going to say an incomplete pass. Big hit again put on by Shane Gordon.
Yeah, we'll mention his name a lot. We said he's comfortable this time on the outside. Great screen setup there. Good play call. Again, a conservative play call for Gardner Webb's offense. Maybe good here at the beginning of the game, but very good on the defensive side. Shane Gordon reading that from the very beginning, out there going nowhere.
So after a quick first down, the running Bulldogs forced to punt. Bo Lindsay averaging a whopping 43 yards a kick. 19th best in the FCS. Cam Sadler, the return man. Here comes the pressure, and he just did get the kick away. Driving kick, Sadler with the fair catch near the 10. So the Pitt defense, led by the middle linebacker, Shane Gordon, with a jarring hit. Pitt D comes up big. We'll look at the offense when we come back. No score early on here in the first quarter. Gardner Webb and Pitt, first ever meeting between these two teams, as you get a good look at the senior Tino Sunseri coming off a big game against Virginia Tech. Really a confidence builder for him and the rest of this Pitt offense.
Yeah, and I think he needed that. When you go through what he has and the change of coordinators, and you just wonder how long is it going to take him to get a new offense down. Well, last week he was showing that growth in this type of offense.
Sunseri 19 of 28 a week ago, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. He really put the game away in the first half. 10 of 14 for 185 and a touchdown. Showed some poise, made the good throws all game against a very good Virginia Tech defense. Pitt on first down, and Ray Graham gets the opening call, and Gardner Webb does a good job of shutting the hole. To meet the Pitt offense, Graham gets the start. We'll see a lot of Russell Shell. Don't be surprised if we see Isaac Bennett, Mike Shanahan, big play receiver, along with Devin Street. J.P. Holtz is a fill-in. Hubie Graham, the normal tight end. not in the starting lineup. Up front, Chris Jacobson is the leader. He's a 6-year senior at left guard. Shanahan in motion, second down. They will give it to Graham again. Ray Graham busting to the outside. Marker comes in as he's pushed out of bounds shy of the 20-yard line.
Holding. On the tight end, offense. Half the distance to the goal line. Second down.
Let's meet the running Bulldog defense up front. They have made a couple of changes. Very physical up front. Preston Pamasa, second in the country in the FCS in tackles for losses. Goods, very physical up front. Reddick, in his first year, seeing significant time defensively. Linebacking core, we talked about Tanner Birch. He is a tackling machine from the middle linebacker position. And in the secondary, Gianni Olivas, really the team leader, the junior from Upland, California. Olivas, second leading tackler from a year ago. So after the holding penalty on Pitt, second down and long, Sinceri to throw from his own end zone underneath route, had a man wide open. It was Sadler running a crossing pattern, but he undershot him.
Yeah, he's going to wish he had that throw back. I guarantee it. He had two guys run off deep. They ran the coverage off and had plenty of time to throw the football here. Just needs to settle down and make this completion. Nobody knows it more than the quarterback when you kind of throw it out in the dirt that way, but he was wide open for a big play.
Get a good look at Paul Christ in his first year guiding this Pitt program, his first head coaching job. Spent the previous 6 years at Wisconsin as their offensive coordinator. Third and long, Sinceri back to the air, flushed, throws near side screen. Graham makes the catch, has some work to do, and Ray Graham is going to be corralled at the 20-yard line. Good pursuit defense there. Maurice Dixon, the backup end, able to bring him down.
Nicely set up here. Drew the defense in. You can see a lot of white shirts getting to the quarterback. Take a couple steps back and just give your running back an opportunity to get it. And Ray Graham, his ability to make people miss and just kind of feel the surroundings, know your surroundings, and almost was able to pick up that first down with some good footwork.
So the Gardner Webb defense forces a 3-and-out. Matt Yaklick on the punt. J.J. Hubbard awaiting the kick near his 40. Hubbard will make the catch, and he is tackled immediately. Nicholas Grigsby on the special teams coverage for Pitt. First one downfield for the Pitt special teams. ESPN College Football is available anytime, anywhere on your computer or mobile device via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Good look at Heinz Field as we are early in the first quarter. 9:19 to go. John, your thoughts after each team has had it once?
Well, I think it's a good start for Gardner Webb in the fact that they've got some pretty decent field position here after the exchange of punts. Very good punt for Gardner Webb. Set them up here for field position. So I think they need to take advantage of that early in this football game.
Quick throw out near side. Kenny Cook makes the catch. He is spun down about a yard shy of the first down. K'Wan Williams, terrific cover corner, in on the stop.
Kenny Cook, a guy that we'll mention probably an awful lot, had 7 catches last week, a junior college transfer that came in here, really talented receiver that they like, and they're starting to get the players in here that they really feel that can make a difference for this offense.
Second and short, second back through is Blunt. He struggles to get up across midfield. TJ Clemmings, first one to hit him. Looks like he's going to have enough. First down for Gardner Webb.
You see Blunt moving off the field there. He's 205 pounds, and look at Kenny Little, 208 pounds, but still different runners in that. Blunt, they call him Bam Bam, the guy that likes to take it up inside, be more of that physical runner, versus Kenny Little, who likes to get it to the outside.
Blunt sustained an injury in week 1 last year, played only the one game. It cost him the entire season, but he put on 20 pounds during the offseason, and thus the nickname Bam Bam, and he can deliver it.
Number 88 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty on Gardner Webb against the backup tight end Matt McAlvin, and that is 3 minor penalties. You know, on the grand scheme of things, not huge, but boy, they are just momentum killers.
Yeah, a little different there. McKelvin normally wears number 68. Today they have him in as a backup in the tight end position, so number 88. When you're a tackle, you may be able to get away from that, or get away with jumping just a little bit if you have a tight end covering you, but as a tight end, you're out there in the open for everybody to see.
Two tight ends, they run the handoff. Kenny Little over the left side pushes across onto the Pitt side of the field. Shane Gordon and Manny Williams bring him down.
36, Manny Williams, 49, Eric
One thing we should mention, Aaron Donald, the preseason All-American down tackle, not in the starting lineup. We're not expected to see him today. He is out nursing an injury that he sustained last week in the win against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and he was a big factor in this defense. He really, a lot of people like to double team him, and it opens up for linebackers. So with him out, not in the lineup, not as much freedom for the linebackers.
2nd and 8. Again, they give it to Kenny Little over the right side. Little surges ahead to the 42. Jared Holley, first team All Big East, 4-year starter for the Panthers, and on the stop. See what Little did last week against Samford. Only 4 yards a crack, scored a couple of touchdowns. Gardner Webb offense averaging only 12 points per game through the first 3 weeks. 3rd and 5 for the redshirt sophomore Beatty. Looks left, has a man open near the chains, and this should be enough for the first down. Carlton Hurd, redshirt freshman, leaping high to haul it in, and a critical 3rd down conversion for the running Bulldogs.
Carlton Hurd's a player that these coaches really like, but they had to get him, or convince him actually, to buy into this system, and he really did that. Not only him, it was Lucas Beatty who also sat down and talked with him, and actually is dragging him in to watch film. And you know, if you're going to be on the same page as a quarterback, you got to get in there and watch film with them, and that's exactly what's happening. They've been better because of it.
Gardner Webb showing a little bit of a different look offensively with the Wildcat. Pitt was expecting this. Juwan Blunt the carry, and Brian Murphy with the hit. Here you are, you look at it, quick moving first quarter. I don't think Ron Dickerson Jr. could have scripted a better start for his running Bulldogs.
No, they'd like to use as much clock as they possibly can and just be effective and churn their way down the field and just keep moving the chains.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers right, 2 left. Beatty has a pocket over the middle, caught again. It's Hurd again as he stutters to the 23. Gordon unable to stick with Hurd.
Offensive line doing a great job of giving protection for Beatty to be able to throw the football. And this is a veteran offensive line that's very good, has a lot of experience. There's 1 freshman in there, but the guys surrounding him, they've got a lot of leadership up front.
Gardner Webb continues to show a lot of different looks. Full house backfield as they give it to Blunt. So we've seen the Wildcat, we've seen the full house look, we've seen the traditional eye, empty backfields. Yeah. They are giving a lot of different looks here.
Yeah, and they're going to move those offensive linemen, not afraid to pull them. That time, Jamie Dunaway, number 67, the left guard, pulling around. He's rated as one of the top players in the FCS, and started 33 consecutive games, so has a lot of experience up front.
Single setback is Blunt. They pitch it out, little quick pitch type action. He shakes free from 1 tackle, but there was Eric Williams to finish the job for Pitt. Williams, redshirt sophomore, 215-pounder.
Boy, and they're glad Pitt, you know, you want to maintain your leverage on the outside. Does a nice job coming up there and maintaining that. That misdirection can really fool you, but he stayed outside.
Good look at the defensive coordinator, Dave Huxtable. His Pitt defense right now 78th in the country, but they really responded last week. They were able to force 4 turnovers. They hadn't forced a turnover in the first 2 weeks.
No, and this is a football team that forces a lot. 33 in the last 42 games, they forced a turnover, so they'd like to get one here.
Pitt rushes 4, pass knocked away, incomplete. Good coverage by Manny Williams. Bringing up a 4th down, decision time for the Bulldogs.
Again, got to give credit, a lot of credit there to the offensive line. Plenty of time to throw the football and well covered to the outside. Really nowhere to go with that football.
Gardner Webb will try to get points on the board as they send out the kicker, Trevor Austin. Austin 3 for 6 on the season from the near hash. This will be a 40-yarder. Austin to try to give the running Bulldogs the lead. He has the leg, but he pushed it to the right. And Gardner Webb comes up empty-handed. Long drive, no points. We'll get our second look at the Pitt offense when we come back. No score from Pittsburgh. Welcome back to Pittsburgh. No score early on. BCS Countdown is on ESPNU Monday. Our analysts break down the key victories and defeats from Week 4 and discuss their impact on the standings. Who will rise, who will fall? Plus, we eye the key matchups from Week 5. BCS Countdown presented by Allstate Monday at 6 on ESPNU. After a quick 3 and out, here goes Ray Graham, and they're not going to catch him. Ray Graham, touchdown Pitt. 78 yards, and just like that, how the fortunes can change.
Well, we talked about thunder and lightning. The lightning part is the quick strike ability of Ray Graham, and you can see his speed here. You just wonder what's going on through his mind there, telling his knee, oh yeah, this feels good. I like to have this opening, and boy, nobody was going to catch him. He exploded through there, and if there was any questions whether he can come back after a physical game last week, it's a good example.
Kevin Harper with the point after. Ray Graham has found the end zone for the 3rd time this season. 78 yards. Little life in the Pitt offense coming from a reliable source. Panthers up 7-0. 7-0 Pittsburgh on top late in this first quarter. 3:23 to go as the student body here in Pittsburgh, something to cheer about. They're used to cheering for Ray Graham. Good to see him back as he's able to break one 78 yards for Graham. So now Gardner Webb, who really had everything going the way they wanted to, must make a quick adjustment, down 7. Harper with the kick. This will be J.J. Hubbard from the 5. Hubbard, look out, has a little bit of room. He can fly. Hubbard to midfield, down the near side, caught from behind at the 27-yard line. J.J. Hubbard, who had a 78-yard kick return earlier this year, breaks one loose down the left side.
Wow, if it wasn't for the speed of Andrew Taglianetti, being able to catch him from behind here, thought he had an angle, beat the kicker here, and see good speed, but nice blocking up front. There was a good wall. He was able to get through there, and nice field position again for Gardner Webb. A good way to answer that touchdown there is to be able to come back here and put a score on the board and keep the momentum from swinging the Pitt and letting them run away with this first half.
69 yards on the return by J.J. Hubbard. Gardner Webb, great field position from the 29-yard line. Shane Hale, the senior, is checked in for the first time as they go on the ground to Kenny Little, trying to stretch the play. Nothing there. Ball popped pretty late, but he was down. Lafayette Pitts and Jared Holley, the secondary, converging on him. Let's go down to Rontina McCann. Rontina, what do you have?
Well, the sidelines here obviously very pleased that Pitt scored quickly, but defensive coordinator Dave Huxtable, not so much. He wanted more time to talk to his defense and tell the secondary what the game plan was, remind them of what they're supposed to do. He had a good talk with Lafayette Pitts on not getting beat on the speed and to be sure to nail the tackle and stick through it and play through the whistle, but definitely we'll see what happens out here now, guys.
Thank you, Rontina, and yes, to see how Huxtable makes some adjustments. The running Bulldogs moving the football in this first quarter. Beatty a play fake, pressure, throws, pass caught. It's his tight end at the 23, Seth Cranfield.
That's 86.
Cranfield, the former receiver, turned tight end. Last week had a good game against Samford, 9 catches for 75 yards.
And here's where it becomes a little bit more difficult for this Gardner Webb offense. You start to come down here toward the red zone, and Pitt starts walking up toward the line of scrimmage, and makes it a little bit more difficult to try to throw the football down the field because they start getting 4, 5, 6 guys after the quarterback.
Third down, they go on the ground. It's Kenny Little, and he is denied. Kanan Mosley Smith, your sophomore, homegrown product out of Pittsburgh, in on the stop.
I mentioned how penetration here, you can see, again, great penetration by Pitt's defense and a wall of blue shirts there, and they've got great size up front. We mentioned the ability of this Gardner Webb's offense being a veteran line, where Pitt has a strong defensive front to be able to play against that strong front that Gardner Webb has.
Austin on to attempt his second field goal, ironically from nearly the identical spot he missed from just a few moments ago. 41 yards near hash. Again, he has the leg, and this time he connects. Trevor Austin with a low line drive, 42-yard field goal, and Ron Dickerson Jr. and Gardner Webb, thanks to the kick return, on the board.
Well, that set up this nice field goal attempt here. Last time missed it a little bit to the right, this time dead down the middle. And again, special teams so important when you're on the road as a team in the FBS, FCS level. And Paul Chris is going to go talk to his guys and say, we can't have a letdown. We know what happened earlier this year, and you can see him talking to his big offensive lineman.
Badgers back-to-back Rose Bowls, back-to-back Big Ten championships with Chris as the offensive coordinator, 6 years at Wisconsin. Excited to take over the job here at Pittsburgh, and I quite frankly think they have the right guy for a position that has rotated through the years.
Yeah, what I noticed, when watching the Virginia Tech game, his demeanor on the sideline. He never gets too carried away when things were going bad. In the Youngstown State game early in the year, he kind of held this team together, and then last week it was very emotional for him, but he was able to maintain that on the sideline.
See the numbers for Lafayette Pitts. We just saw Hubbard break one free. Gardner Webb better be careful. Pitts is a playmaker. teams up with Cam Sadler. Pitts will get a chance from the 5. Pitts to the outside, has one man to beat, and it's the kicker. Cuts across the field, and he gets tripped by his own man at the 31-yard line. Lafayette Pitts.
Well, you mentioned he was pretty dangerous back there, and misses the ball and gets a big opening to the outside here. No leverage to the outside. Once you get to the outside, oh, it's a late block in the back there, it looked like. Got away from that, but again, trips over his own guy. He knew he was kind of cut off there, wondering if he had that sideline, but
Coach, he's going to hear about that. Cam Sadler, his fellow return man down there, was the one who tripped him up accidentally. So good field position for Pitt on first down as Brian Wettenberger really hits Ray Graham hard, smacks him down at the 30-yard line.
Well, outside of a long run, it's really been a battle of special teams and big plays so far that's created field position and scoring opportunities for these two teams.
Winding down the first quarter, we have yet to see the highly touted freshman Russell Shell, who had a breaking out party last week against Virginia Tech. It's been all Graham in this first quarter, and it will be number 1 again. Ray Graham looking for any type of room, but nothing opens up. Shut down on the play by Dylan Taylor on what should be the final play of this first quarter. So Ray Graham, 78 yards, his second longest touchdown of his career. Pitt leads after 1, 7-3. It's a beautiful early fall afternoon in Pittsburgh. The Panthers, the home team, on top of Gardner Webb, 7-3 as we get ready to start the second quarter. Third down for Pitt, just 0 for 1 here in the first half. Graham stays in the game. Senseri, who's been quiet, to throw. Has a pocket, nothing open. Now Tino Senseri is going to try to cut down about a yard shy of the first down. Gianni Olivas, the leading tackler from the Gardner Webb secondary, in on the stop, and Paul Chris wants to try to get some points, looking at 4th and a yard, and he is going to send out his kicker, Kevin Harper.
You got to like what the senior Senseri did there, tucking the football, getting as many yards as he can, set up his field goal unit, because last week didn't turn the ball over in the red zone, did a nice job, and they were effective because of it.
Harper had a couple of first half misses against Virginia Tech last week, normally reliable kicker. Did he have enough leg? He did. Kevin Harper connects. And the Pitt Panthers, set up by the return from Lafayette Pitts, get 3 points. Pitt defense, bend but don't break. That's been the mentality in the first quarter.
Yeah, when you look at both of these teams, what they're doing very well, it's third down. This Gardner Webb offense just 1 of 4 today on third downs. And they've been able to get down there, and special teams have done a nice job of putting them in field position, but this Pitt defense has really stood strong. And that's what you need if you can get them out on that third down situation. Make them kick it away and let your offense go down there and put some points on the board.
Look at the third down conversions today. Gardner Webb just 1 for 4. Pittsburgh failing on that last third down. And time of possession, that's a Pitt defense that has been on the field a lot in the first quarter. Gardner Webb close to 12 minutes of holding the football in that first quarter.
Well, and you talk about that, and that's why defensive coordinator Dave Huxtable would like to have a chance to go talk to his players over there. Rontina was saying that he didn't have time, wish he had more time, and you have to deal with that. If your offense is going to score in about 13 seconds, defensive coordinator is going to have to deal with that, but he'd certainly like to have more time to talk with his defense.
Let's see if they kick it away from J.J. Hubbard as Gardner Webb's going to stack their 2 return men. Shallow high kick that's mishandled. That's a free football. Let's see. No word yet as they umpile the bodies. A lot of pushing and shoving. Still no word from the official. There it is, Pitt football. Special teams again.
Well, they elected, instead of kicking it deep, that was a short, high punt. You wonder if the sun had any effect that time as they were trying to come down with the football. And you have guys in a position to block out there, not normal guys that are handling the football, and that ball just, again, big turnover on special teams, and that has been the story so far in this ball game.
It is the backup linebacker recovering it, Joe Trebitz, the redshirt senior out of Boca Raton, Florida. He's able to come up with the play, special teamer the past 3 years. So Pitt from the 35, and now we will get our first look at Russell Shell as a marker comes down, and so does Shell. Look at that, 5, 6, 7 running Bulldogs chasing down the talented freshman.
Legal hands to the face. Number 75 in the offense.
Shot to the face against the center.
First down.
Ryan Turnley, the redshirt senior out of Hopewell, Pennsylvania. Cost Pitt a few more yards as well.
Yeah, and this is what last week, Virginia Tech, they took advantage of the turnovers, didn't make the mistakes. They were able to score points off of those turnovers, and that's what they need to do to be an effective offense. And big step back with the hands to the face there, but Pitt really took advantage of Virginia Tech last week when they turned the football over.
Looks like Gardner Webb is going to decline the penalty, and they'll take the loss on the run by Shell here. So it's a 5-yard loss, second down and 15, ball back at the 39. Sinceri wants to get rid of it quick, and he has his big target, Mike Shanahan, makes a defender miss. Shanahan to the 28-yard line. He's like having a tight end with his body. He is big.
Yeah, and you said that. I was thinking the same thing was going through my mind at 6'5", 225. He's got great hands to be able to put him on the outside. It's a great mismatch against some maybe smaller corners or some nickel backs that they bring in there. But once he gets the football, that's when it becomes dangerous to take down.
Saw the graphic a few moments ago. Pitt yet to convert on third down. 3rd and 3. They will go to Shell. First down and then some. Russell Shell lowering his shoulder pads. First down inside the red zone for the first time.
We talked about him being a physical guy, but it's not always about that. It's about patience too. And here you can see him following his blocks, doing a nice job. But then at the end of the run, he likes to lower his head. But you know, you can be a strong, powerful runner, but you also have to have that patience. And you look at him following his blocks there as he gets a nice lead blocks by a wide receiver and his offensive line.
Yeah, not a bad guy to follow in Chris Jacobson. Jacobson, the sixth-year senior, really the vocal leader of the offensive front line. And he mentioned they gave Shell last week the honorary game ball from the offensive line. They were really happy with him, and he talked about how Shell provides them with a spark just because of the way he runs with the football.
Yeah, and it's fun as an offensive lineman. You want a guy that's going to finish something off like that, get up with some excitement, and show his appreciation to that offensive line.
Second down, Sinceri gets it to Shell as he hurdled a defender, falls up near the 15-yard line, brought down by Brian Wittenberger.
Credit 49, Wittenberger on the tackle.
So it looks like Pitt's game plan with the use of their running backs is let Ray Graham go for a quarter, let Russell Shell go for a quarter possibly, and
12 players in the huddle on the offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Well, here's a mental mistake made by Pitt. They had 12 guys in the huddle, so this will cost them 5 yards. Paul Christ, Tino Sinceri. Sinceri was dinged up late last week in the game against Virginia Tech.
From the 21.
Pitt getting ready to run their 13th play in this first half. 120 yards offense. Sinceri operating from the shotgun, 3rd and 11. Sinceri looks down the middle, caught near the 5. Up ahead to the 3-yard line. Cam Sadler with the catch. Gianni Olivas with the coverage. 1st and goal, Pitt.
Cameron Sadler at 5'7", 160, a guy on the inside. They like his speed, his ability to get down the football field, was able to hold on to the football here. He's a guy last year suffered a fracture of the sternum against Connecticut, but got to have guts to be able to put it in there again.
1st and goal. This is Snell. He loves this part of the field. He lumbers in. Touchdown, Pitt.
Give the football to Shell down here in the goal line. Let him follow those big offensive linemen. Let him finish the play. That's exactly what he does. And talk about his physicality, the way he likes to run the football at the end. And just a freshman, 215 pounds, but he is a strong back.
Russell Shell scored 110 touchdowns for Hopewell High School. He has his first as a Panther. Pitt beats big early. Welcome back to Heinz Field. We are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Beautiful afternoon, and Pitt taking care of business in the second quarter. 17-3 as Russell Shell has scored his first touchdown as a Panther. 4-yard run, special teams just like that. 10 quick points rattled off by Pitt.
Take advantage of opportunities. That's what Pitt has done, and their special teams have played well. They've given up something, but they're playing well right now. They've kind of got that momentum going. Knocked some of what happened last week off and playing well early in this football game.
Shallow kick toward the near side, picked up by Fairley. This time much better job covering it with the Pitt special teams unit. Let's go right down to the field now. Rontina McCann talking about the new alignments coming our way.
That's right. The Big East and ACC, definitely lots of changes this year and next. This year, Pitt, of course, gets their new head coach in Paul Chryst. Next year, they head to the ACC, and they have some unfinished business in the Big East. They've never outright won the Big East title. They came close in 2004. They played in the BCS game that repped the conference. The clock is ticking on the Panthers and Syracuse. They both set to join the ACC after 30 years in this conference, guys.
A lot of big-time offense coming to the Big East next year. Boise State, San Diego State, teams that know how to move the football.
Yeah, wide open spread offenses. But everyone's going to that in the country. And, boy, it's just amazing how these conferences have aligned, realigned, made some changes in there. But, it's just taken a lot to get used to. But once you do, people will end up getting their rivalries together, and it'll be the same thing. It's football.
How bizarre is it? 5 years ago, would you have bet somebody that San Diego State and Boise State would be a part of the Big East Conference?
I don't know. Last year, would you think about it? You don't even have to go back that far, but everybody's trying to find their way and, where they can get their best payday and best opportunities.
See if Gardner Webb can respond here. Down in a hole, hostile environment. Pitt shows blitz, they bring it, and the play is blown dead.
Prior to the snap, delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Second time we've seen Gardner Webb get nailed for that.
And again, you can see Coach Dickerson there not happy with his quarterback in that situation. Okay, one time, okay, you do it a second time, and you may try to be using as much clock as possible, but it's right up there on the scoreboard in front of them to be able to see that, and he cannot make that mistake.
Lucas Beatty has played well, 5 of 7 for 32 yards. Another marker. Beatty throws a duck, and it's nearly intercepted. Nearly picked off that time by K'Wan Williams.
Really a free play that time for Beatty, as
Offside.
he knew.
In the neutral zone at the snap, number 91 of the defense. 5-yard penalty.
He knew that Darrell Render was on his side here. It's pretty obvious, but you can see the right side of the line doesn't move. They stay there. The center gets blocked back, but trying to protect the quarterback a little bit, maybe get a free play and see what happens.
Render is a good-looking true freshman. He's in there for the injured Aaron Donald. Dave Huxtable very high on Render, has really been happy with his work ethic, his fall camp, and now he has been given a shot to show what he can do in front of the spotlight. After the penalty, they run the draw straight up the middle to Kenny Little. Eric Williams tripped him up low. Brian Murphy up top. And another flag.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Number 79 of the offense. At the distance of the goal line. Second down.
That's the veteran right tackle, Steve D'Amelio.
He's a preseason All-Big South player, and why he does this late. The flag came in there very late that time, and you're running a draw like that, you want those defensive ends to get up the field, and boy, no need for that late in the play.
Not a real hard shot. It looked like he got his hand up on Shane Gordon. So the penalty's really hurting the running Bulldogs, moving the wrong way. Second down and a mile. Inside the 15, conservative call, but nothing there as they give it to Little, wrapped up by Manny Williams.
As you mentioned, conservative play here, second down and long, just trying to put themselves in a manageable position to try to pick it up on third down, but wasn't able to get anything, probably lost a couple yards, and now 3rd and forever here, and what do you call in this situation? You really just don't want to turn the football over and give your punter an opportunity to try to win that field position back.
They are lining up where the student body is situated here at Heinz Field. Going to be pretty noisy for Beatty and company. Beatty, a play fake. Flushed, throws down the middle, some contact before the ball arrived. It is intercepted. Pitt will have the football. Boy, I don't know, Coach. It looked like the contact might have been before the ball got there, but Pitt's going to come up with the pick.
Yeah, and you kind of get the feeling when you look at the sidelines of Pitt, they didn't jump up and down right away. They thought maybe, and there's a good example, he clearly was there before.
But I think it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. I just noticed. Let's take a look. It looked like it got tipped here at the line. Tough to tell from that angle.
Tough to tell. You'd think you'd still get a flag from the officials in the secondary, maybe not seeing that ball tipped in that particular.
There's the famous catch made a few years back. Little catch off the ground. I think Pitt fans would remember quite well. Mr. Franco Harris.
Immaculate reception right here.
Take a look.
Woo. Great effort. Great effort on that play to come in here and make the play. And
the ruling on the field is that the ball was intercepted by Pittsburgh. A booth-initiated review is now in the process.
So they're going to take a look upstairs to see if Jason Hendricks was able to come up with the interception.
Boy, he clearly got there beforehand. He was there in enough time where the ball went off his back.
I think Darrell Render got his hand on that football. It just took a different path. A tight spiral ended up a wobbler by the time it got there, and that's why the contact was allowed once the ball's been tipped. And now the question becomes, did Hendricks actually get both those arms underneath the football and come up with the interception? A Pitt secondary that picked off 3 Virginia Tech passes last week.
Yeah, and that was the scary situation I mentioned, that 3rd down and long situation. You do not want it to football over here because it could open up the floodgates for Pitt offensively here. And you want to get as much as you can, but you want to make sure you get your punter in there to be able to get the ball off. But, Gardner Webb trying to move the ball. They need to put some points on the board as well, so really tried to push it up the field.
Take one more look here.
Clearly he made a catch of that. The ball had contact to the ground. Here's a look whether it was maybe touched at the line of scrimmage, but can we see?
No, I think the ball hit the turf. I think that's our best view right there, and you could see the Heinz Field turf. Jason Hendricks, the redshirt junior, looking for his 3rd interception in 2 weeks. But I don't think he's going to get this one. Remember, the call on the field is an interception.
After further video review, the ball does touch the ground. It is not an interception. It'll be 4th down from the 11th yard line for Pittsburgh. This review was initiated from the replay booth. Gardner Webb is not charged a timeout.
So there you have it. Very clear, precise explanation. And Ron Dickerson Jr. and the rest of Gardner Webb can breathe a little bit easier, avoiding the turnover. However, they are still looking at a 4th and 20 deep in their own end.
Yeah. Better choice here, try to get a punt off, but you haven't been very good in kick coverage right now, or punt coverage against this Pitt team, so you're going to have to get away a good punch, but more important than anything else is get down, and kick coverage is so important here.
Bo Lindsey, who has a 49-yard punt already today. He will be kicking from deep in his own end zone. Let's see if Pitt comes after it.
Delay a game on the defense, making an unnatural football move in an effort to get their opponent to move. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That is something you don't see every day.
No.
To put it politely.
What's a non-football move? The jab step? I don't know. Oh. Everybody did it. Coordinated. Yes, a coordinated effort. Kind of like the old Dallas Cowboys taking that set position on offense.
High snap and not a good kick. It's off the side of Lindsey's foot. And it goes hop skipping out of bounds at the Gardner Webb 34-yard line. Pitt about to open up shop on the Gardner Webb side for the 3rd straight time.
Yeah, and everything probably ended up at the same yard line as it would have been if it was intercepted.
Frustration right now for the running Bulldogs. Pittsburgh with the lead, 8 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the 2nd quarter, 17-3, Pitt on top. Panthers have rattled off 10 unanswered, and for the 3rd straight time, they get set to open up on the Gardner Webb side, this time from the 34. Tino Sunseri play fake. Steps up, home run ball, Devin Street wide open, touchdown Pitt. In the back of the end zone, Street pulls it in. The quick strike offense of the Panthers.
Well, when you run the football so well, you get great play action fake here. Plenty of time to throw the football. Sunseri does a nice job stepping up and throws a perfect strike down the field. And Devin Street, they said he just made plays last week. He stepped up and did that. Well, he makes another one tonight.
Kevin Harper adds the point after. Pitt has really taken control of this football game. Talked about Mike Shanahan already surpassing the 100 reception list, the 100 career reception list for Pitt. Devin Street right behind him. Here comes the redshirt junior, and he's able to beat Drew White.
See, nicely thrown ball. Give your receiver an opportunity to stay in bounds and make a catch. See so many times a quarterback will throw him out of bounds. Not the case here as Sunseri steps up and delivers a perfect throw to the 6'4" receiver down the sideline.
College Football Daily is your destination for all the latest reports and comprehensive analysis. Our college football excerpts dissect all the storylines and breaking news each day. It's College Football Daily, weekdays at 1 o'clock on ESPNU. Look at Devin Street, his second touchdown catch of the season. 92 career receptions for the junior, and he is their deep ball threat since Sari put the ball right on the money.
All smiles on the sideline when you make that touchdown. You know you're going to have a good time, enjoy every moment of it. And as I said before, coaches said he just made plays last week finally, and that's what they wanted him to do. And you can see the momentum building for this Pitt offense.
Another shallow kick. Barely has trouble with it. Inside his 20. And he does his best just to push across the 20 up ahead to the 22-yard line. So this game has really changed, rotated 360. You look at it, Gardner Webb's offense on the field, majority of the first quarter, really controlling the game clock, but special teams has allowed Pitt to expand in field position, the big difference in the second quarter.
Yeah, and it was about field position, and Gardner Webb received that first kick. They were able to get a couple first downs, a great punt off, and then battle that field position thing. And once that turned around on them, and it does that on the road for any football team, that's why it's so important to pick up at least a couple first downs every time you get the football, even if you don't score, to be able to get that field position game going. And they've been behind in that battle all second quarter.
Quick throw out to Kenny Cook, who dropped the football. They're going to say incomplete. He never had control of it. Cook in and out of his hands on another close play. You be the judge.
Yeah, the big question, did he have the football or was the ball thrown behind the line of scrimmage? Not the case that time. It was forward. No fumble at all.
Remember, 78 of those yards by Pitt coming on one fleet gallop by Ray Graham. Looks like the timeout has been taken by Ron Dickerson
First
Jr.
short timeout of the half. Gardner Webb.
Gardner Webb with the timeout. So a good look at Ron Dickerson Jr., 41-year-old, the 1996 graduate of Arkansas. And I thought it was really refreshing in our weekly chat with him on Wednesday, learning about this program, his expectations, what he brought to the table. And, you know, he brings energy. Spent 3 years at Ole Miss. He's coached some very good players. Mike Wallace, one of the better receivers for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was, you know, close with him, worked with him at Ole Miss. And he brings energy. And he talked about dealing with a different type of athlete at Gardner Webb.
Yeah, he's bringing a vision to them, and you know, not everybody, you know, knows about Gardner Webb, and you have to get out there. And they do a nice job of recruiting different places across the country. They've got a pipeline of recruiting to California now, and have a lot of different players from across the country, but specifically California is a big area in helping them recruit.
Yeah, players on their roster from the state of California. Watch out, Beatty is swallowed up. Eric Williams with his first sack of the season. Beatty did not have a chance.
At a quarterback, you get play action. Your head has to turn around that time, and got to know where the players are coming from. In difficult situation here when Gardner Webb, this Pitt defense knows they have to throw the football now, being down 24-3, and they can just kind of pin their ears back and start to come after them. They got to get away from the play action a little bit and maybe just try to throw the football up the field.
Gardner Webb has lost all the rhythm they had in the first quarter. Moving backwards for the second straight series. Third down, delayed handoff, nothing there. Darrell Render blowing up the play in the backfield. And again, here we go back. Field position again.
And again, you mentioned Render. His ability and what he's doing as a freshman, getting the start today, and he's bringing a lot of emotion to this defense, but he's really earned an opportunity to be in there and what he's doing.
Sadler deep.
Second straight time, Cam Sadler awaiting the kick inside the 50-yard line. Lindsey had one go off the side of his foot a few moments ago. Angled toward the near side, and again, not a real good kick by Lindsey. Unbelievable. Pittsburgh's going to open up shop again on the Gardner Webb side. All Panthers right now in control. (24-3) Pittsburgh on top of Gardner Webb for the fourth straight series. Pitt opening up on the running Bulldogs side. Their last four drive starts, the 32, the 35, the 34, and now the 29-yard line as Russell Shell gets the call. Gardner Webb, we mentioned the pipeline to California. Here is a roster breakdown for the school located in Boiling Springs, North Carolina.
Now, we mentioned California, 11 players from this football team. Nice pipeline, getting some junior college players. Recruiting coordinator from that area, and Coach Dickerson says, you know, we're getting the type of guys in here that we need to get in here, but we have to go to a lot of different places to get them.
This is Shell, nowhere to go. He is chopped down in the backfield. Tico Thompson in on the stop along with Bradley Taylor. Good job there by Taylor.
Shell's ability is taking it north and south. Doesn't like to necessarily bounce it to the outside, or he can do it. Would like to run over people more so, and that time nowhere to go with the football.
Third down for Sunseri. Pitt 2 for 4 on third downs. Running Bulldogs bring the blitz. They're looking for Street again, and Sunseri missed his mark, incomplete.
That time he was looking for him to run a corner pattern, and he decided Devin Street thought the post, and a little frustration on Sunseri. He knew he had a touchdown that time, and you see they're going to have a conversation on the sideline. He certainly expected him to break toward the corner.
Harper has connected from 42. This will be a 43-yard field goal. The redshirt senior led Pitt with 95 points a season ago. Good snap, good placement. Kick on the way, plenty of leg, but he pushed it to the right, no good. Strength of his leg has never been an issue with Harper. And right now, early on, consistency. You see the frustrated look on Sunseri. He knows they missed an opportunity.
Yeah, you just wonder, you know, who was the guy that made the mistake on that play? Was it Sunseri or was it the wide receiver? But by the look of the frustration on Sunseri's face as he was coming off the field there, He was probably thinking it was Devin's fault, but again, they'll get to the sideline, they'll figure it all out, and that's part of learning the whole new offense and all the nuances that's going on with it.
On the 25, Beatty a play fake, goes underneath, looking for his fullback, the seldom used Ernest Harmon. Harmon, the Ole Miss transfer, makes his second catch of the year, shadowed by Eric Williams.
Having a little conversation with the referee on that side of the field, Dickerson. Nice to be able to smile still with down 24-3 in the football game, and a little bit different that time. Gardner Webb moving their quarterback Beatty out to the outside, anticipating that rush coming off the edge from Pitt.
They will hand the football off. Not much there for Jawan Blunt. Again, Eric Williams, the strong side backer, has been very active. His first year as a starter in this Pitt linebacking core. A big question mark coming into the season because of the youth and because of some injuries that they incurred late last year into the spring and summer.
Yeah, you're talking about one senior, junior, two sophomores, so not a lot of experience, but good athletes and guys, and they're really building on it. I think they're getting a lot more confidence, and that's what the coaches said, you know. They feel like they're getting better.
Third down, Beatty looking left, slant pattern, nice catch. First down as they move the chains, Richard Jules, junior out of Armwood High School down in Florida.
18 Holly had the coverage to Pitt. Gardner Webb first down. To their 3-yard line.
They've been working on K'Wan Williams quite a bit in this first half. Williams, one of the better cover men in the Big East Conference, but Beatty not shying away. Big first down there for the running Bulldogs. Pitt will rush only 3. Beatty in the pocket, over the middle. Again, he was looking for Jules, but it falls incomplete. And I think Jules might have landed on the football.
Boy, A for effort here as he makes a great diving attempt at this football here. Thought he had the opportunity to come up with it, and as you mentioned, got up quickly, then he realized, uh-oh,
Combination
not going to feel good after this.
Jason Hendricks with a rather rude greeting to the state of Pennsylvania there. Good hit put on by the free safety, Hendricks. Maybe still grumpy from that interception he had overturned. Second down and 10. Stretch play right side. This is Little, and the Pitt defense is there. Manny Williams, another first-year starter at linebacker. Mentioned this linebacking core. Juan Price out with a chest injury. Todd Thomas recovering from another knee injury. They lost Carl Fleming in the offseason. See Beatty's numbers on the afternoon. He's not made the mistake.
No, it's been pretty conservative offensively so far. Haven't been able to throw the ball down the field, but you just wonder, can these receivers get away from these Pitt defenders?
Empty backfield. Beatty forced to step up, and the pass is nearly intercepted. Oh, what a play by Render. The 270-pounder nearly coming up with the interception. Cat-like reflexes for the big guy.
Well, you wonder sometimes if linebackers have good enough hands to play back there, but what great reaction. You're talking about a guy 270 pounds, a freshman, backing up off the line of scrimmage, asking him to play in pass coverage. That's why they're high on this kid. You take a look at his athletic ability.
Look at the vert on the big guy.
Say, if you can jump that high, you should be able to catch it. Move him to tight end.
Bo Lindsay on the punt. Line drive. Kick that goes spiraling over the head of Sadler, and this one will reach the end zone for the touchback. So with inside 3 minutes to go and all 3 timeouts, obviously plenty of time for Pitt maybe to put together a sustained drive. They really haven't had one here in the first half with the field position and the long touchdown run by Graham.
Yeah, a good opportunity then for 3 minutes to go in this football game to see if they can't put this kind of a 2-minute drill together, get some experience with doing that. But going back to that punt, boy, he looked like he was aggravated when he let that one go after those last 2 punts he had. He just drilled that one.
Want to remind you, coming up in our Capital One halftime report, we'll have the BCS countdown. Gene Wojciechowski essay on contenders and pretenders. Also the Big East and top 25 scores. We'll have our Capital One impact performance from the first half. All that more coming up at the half. Sunseri on the draw, gives it to Graham. Penalty marker comes in as well in the vicinity of a hole.
Holding. Number 76 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Take a look at the Pitt offense in this first half. Not a lot of yards because of the field position.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to. Not a whole lot of plays either. When you're winning the turnover battle, when you're winning special teams and doing those things become a little bit easier for your offense. And the positive about that is they've taken advantage of it, whether it's the turnovers or whether it's field position, and have put points on the board.
So after the penalty, first down and 20. Sunseri has his man up ahead of the 22-yard line, close to the original line of scrimmage. Street with the catch. See the situation last week. Pitt had some trouble with the penalties, and again, the penalties come back and haunt you. Second down, 7. Sunseri looks, fires. Street's been the hot target. He makes another catch. Diving grab at the 38. First down, Pitt. See the penalties last week against the Hokies. Way too many. Much better job today.
And that's the good thing about this Panther football team. And Coach Chris, what he's doing is they focus on something. They go back, they watch film, they focus on it. And so far, they've been able to turn everything around in those situations.
Sunseri dumps it off. Graham makes the catch. Ray Graham up ahead to midfield. 12 more yards and a Pitt first down. This will be a good drive for the Panthers. Maybe get Sunseri into some type of rhythm. Birch and Wittenberger chasing down Graham out of the backfield. Still plenty of time, all 3 timeouts left. Sunseri, safe pattern. Here's Sadler. He turns on the Jets down the sideline. And Sadler to the 32-yard line, 17 more yards.
Now, the defender, outside linebacker, Brian Wittenberger, that time, because maybe see him, number 49 here, he just starts limping. His knee went out on him, and he's down on the field right now. And that's why he was able to turn that football up in the redshirt junior. Guy that's made his way back, got in great shape after injuries last year, and you can see right there, he gave every effort he could, but he knew that something had happened in that knee, it looks like.
You mentioned Wittenberger fighting back from 2 knee injuries in his career. The former safety trying to bounce back from 2 very serious injuries. Missed all of last season and most of 2009. He actually injured his knee on an onside kick recovery against North Carolina State. He was granted a medical red shirt. Good to see him walking off on his own power.
Well, you just feel for a guy like that, too, and you just wonder what's going on through on, because you fight back through 1 knee injury, that's good, but having to come through a second one or a third, and it's guys like that, their heart is so big and they love the game of football and they want to be out there, and you just feel for them.
See a concerned look on Ron Dickerson Jr. About to check on his Warrior.
See, and he knows it. He knows the effort and what it takes to get back onto the football field after being injured, so you want to be there for them as they come off the sideline.
Tino Sunseri, 8 of 10 in this first half for 136 yards and the touchdown pass to Street. That's a pretty good encore performance from last week's showing.
Yeah, and you're building on the 65% completion percentage he had coming into this football game.
First down, Sunseri. They want the screen. He dumps it out to Graham. Another marker comes in. Graham lost the football. It's scooped and picked up. Gardner, Webb, Kmar Morrison. 1 man to beat. That's Sunseri. Picks up a downfield block. And lightning might have struck here for Gardner Webb. There is a marker down back at the 40-yard line. And let's wait and see.
Number 76 of the offense. The passing team. This penalty's declined.
About that change of events. It's the backup corner, K'Mar Morrison, with the scoop and run.
And you got a holding call on a screen pass here. As an offensive lineman, you want to just get to the outside, and it was a hold call on. You can see it on 74. They pick it up and take advantage of this, and boy, what a big turn of events, as you mentioned, late here in the first half. But on a screenplay, you just
with a fumble, return for a touchdown. This play's now under further review.
They are going to take another look at it upstairs. Bradley Taylor, number 47, is who you want to watch here. It was Taylor who appeared to jar the football free from Grant.
Boy, no reason to hold the guy there when you're running a screen pass. You just need to get it off, and had a convoy of blockers heading down here at the end.
There you see Bradley Taylor with the first hit, and then Dylan Taylor.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Pretty clear to see, pretty easy to see, as you heard the official. Touchdown, Gardner Webb, and that's exactly what the running Bulldogs needed.
Boy, turnovers and special teams, that's the story in this first half of both teams. Whether it was good or bad for Gardner Webb on the special team side. And boy, they've taken advantage of the one turnover that Pitt has here. And boy, rather going in with a big lead, now they go in there and have to make some adjustments.
K'Mar Morrison, the senior out of Inglewood, California. We were talking about the pipeline to the West Coast. Well, here is one of the 11 on the roster, and he scores his first touchdown as a running Bulldog. Heads up play, just as your coach. Scoop and run, and that's what he did. And it's the Gardner Webb defense that gets them on the board here late in the first half. Austin for the point after, and he splits the uprights. 65 yards on the fumble recovery by Morrison. Let's take one more look at the screenplay and the hit by Dylan Taylor. Right there.
That's good hustle play from the inside. When you're talking about a defensive tackle coming out there on a screenplay, that's hustle points that you're getting right there, and that may, you know, even if you don't get the turnover, it may go unnoticed, but you get noticed that time because you create the turnover. But that's hustle play by Dylan Taylor, getting out there and making something happen.
(24-10) Pitt with the lead. Paul Chris had this game really in control. Pitt was moving, looked like they might be thinking more points before halftime, but not the case. How a game can change. 232 yards offense by Pitt in this first half, just 73 for the running Bulldogs. Brendan Felder has joined Sadler as the two return men for the Panthers. Austin to kick. Still time, though, Coach, for Pitt to mount another drive just like the one we saw where they moved it pretty effectively through the air. Should be Felder with the return as he gets back out near the 25-yard line. Aziz Higgins, the first one downfield for Gardner Webb.
Well, Pitt has shown the ability to make big plays and get some big chunks of yards here in this first half. Wouldn't surprise me again. Go back to the success that you had. Devin Street has been the big guy at 6'4", give you guy an opportunity. Go down and make another play for you.
We are going to get our first look at Isaac Bennett. He's a sophomore tailback in there. Bennett lining next to Sunseri as they operate from the shotgun. Again, all three timeouts for Pitt. And this will be Bennett on a swing pass off his fingertips, incomplete.
Second down, 10 from the 24.
Sunseri, 9 of 12. 133 yards. He has the touchdown to Devin Street.
Yeah, he's been very efficient today, getting the ball to his players and spreading it around.
Shows some of his velocity as he hits Street up ahead to the 40-yard line. 17 yards, Devin Street with his third catch in this first half. Sunseri, starter for the last 3 years. This is his 30th consecutive start. On the 40-yard line, under pressure, and he is just forced to throw it away. He was being chased. Good pressure that time coming up the middle. Maurice Dixon, the first one through.
Not sure if Pitt was trying to set up a screen again. This situation almost looked like the same type of thing, but the offensive line wasn't moving to the outside that time, and just good pass rush by Gardner Webb.
Pitt's probably thinking another 25, 30 yards to try to give the strong-legged Harper a shot here.
Yeah, it seems like they need a little bit more sense of urgency to be able to get things moving. Just 34 seconds remaining.
Webb with their dime package. Shanahan finds a hole in the zone. Then he breaks a tackle. Shanahan pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 28 more yards. Keon Williams with the coverage. First down, Pitt.
Tino delivering another strike there to Shanahan. Just love the way he catches the ball in his hands here. Wide open. This is the strength. That's the dangerous part, as we mentioned. At 6'5" on the outside, his ability to be able to break tackles and pick up extended yards.
Pitt still with all 3 timeouts, so they can certainly go over the middle. Sunseri looks, double pumps, fires. Sadler with a nice catch. Inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line. 19 yards, making the grab in front of Olivas. And now Pitt will use one of those timeouts.
30-second timeout.
Sadler not afraid to go across the middle, and you can see he's willing to give up his body, go up and make a catch. Talk about catching the ball in your hands here, and patience. Let things set up as a wide receiver. You got to read the defense there, know where that zone area is, and he gets right in there. And Tino Sunseri a little bit high on that throw, but trusts his receiver, and Sadler comes down with a big catch.
Sadler's one of those guys from nearby Monroe, Pennsylvania, Gateway High School, that they are waiting to explode. His senior season last year, 29 catches, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. One of those guys coming out of high school, breakaway speed, big expectations coming in, and maybe this year, his final go-around, he can put up the big numbers among the receiving corps for Pitt.
They've got a great core of receivers when you talk about Shanahan, Sadler, and the other thing, from a tight end perspective, when Hubie Graham is back in there, gives him the ability to get down the field, play action stuff to tight ends.
Keep an eye on number 87, Shanahan. He is the slot to the top of the field. 3 receivers right. Sunseri looking over the middle, looking for Shanahan, but he overshot him, incomplete.
Shanahan well covered here. You can see him fire off the line of scrimmage, kind of a stutter and go, and nice job, Giovanni. Olivas doing a nice job staying with the big receiver.
Olivas at 5'10", Shanahan at 6'5". That's a pretty favorable matchup for Pitt. Two timeouts for the Panthers, 13 seconds to go. Sunseri looks underneath. It is caught. Sadler at the 5, cannot slip free, and now Pitt will use another timeout with 6 seconds to go. Chad Geeter in on the stop.
Good ball possession here by Pitt, taking their time. Good use of timeouts.
Pittsburgh. It will be a 30-second timeout.
Said earlier they may need a little bit more sense of urgency. Then they picked up a big chunk of yardage with that completion to Shanahan. He was able to get out of bounds and save that timeout. And now in a perfect situation with 5 seconds to go, 1 timeout.
Good look at Cam Sadler talking with his coach, Paul Christ, and it looks like the first-year coach for Pitt has made up his mind. He wants points, does not want to take a chance of running out of time, so he has sent out Kevin Harper. Harper has been a busy man in this first half.
Harper's on for the Panther field goal team.
Harper hit from 42, misfired from 43. This will be a little more than a chip shot from the far hash. 23-yard attempt for the senior kicker, Kevin Harper. Try to make this a 3-possession game, and he does. Harper from 23 yards out. And that's how the first half is going to end, with Pittsburgh going into the break leading 27-10.
A good first half for this Pitt offense, putting a lot of points on the board, getting great field position. And they've taken advantage of that field position by putting on 27 points.
Let's go down to the sidelines. Tina McCann with the head Pitt coach, Paul Chris.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach, your team has shown you a lot in the first half. 3 different guys in the end zone, special teams coming up big. What are you looking for in the second half?
I think we got to play with a better edge. You know, I mean, we're giving some things away. We're not finished with too many penalties. You know, we can clean up a lot of things. Look for a cleaner second half.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Tina. And once again, Pitt with the 27-point advantage here. The Panthers with the lead, 27-10. Pitt came out ready to go. Gardner Webb up for the challenge, but just too much. Ray Graham and company. Pitt leading big at the break.
Used Capital One Venture miles for a golf getaway. Double miles you can actually use. But Mr. Single Miles can't join his friends because he's getting hit with blackouts. Shame on you. Now he's stuck in a miniature nightmare. Oh, thank you. But with the Capital One Venture card, you can fly any airline, any flight, anytime. Double miles you can actually use. What's in your wallet?
Alec Jr.
It was a gift.
This is the Capital One Halftime Report.
Welcome to the ESPN3 Halftime Report, presented by Capital One. Pittsburgh behind strong defense and special teams out in front of Gardner Webb, 27-10 here at the intermission. Let's take a look at some Big East football. 3 games in progress, 3 more still to come later tonight. Western Michigan leads UConn early in the fourth quarter, 24-14. You see Penn State out in front of Temple. Ball State and USF knotted up at 3 in a defensive battle early. Later tonight, Rutgers and Arkansas, 2 teams heading in opposite directions. Louisville and FIU, and then Syracuse and Minnesota tonight. Top 25 from the early games today. West Virginia beats Maryland. Ohio State, another victory for the 16th ranked Buckeyes. Florida rolls TCU defeats Virginia, 2 straight losses for the Cavaliers. South Carolina, Missouri locked up in a good one. Oregon State shocking UCLA. Same story for Eastern Michigan and East Lansing, knocking off Michigan State, that game in the second quarter. And Nebraska, 25th in the country, all over Idaho State in the second quarter. Halftime action continues from Pittsburgh. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the pretenders and contenders. Right now, Pittsburgh lead big over Gardner Webb. Time in Pittsburgh. 3 weeks into the season, we are starting to figure out some of the contenders and pretenders. Today on the BCS Countdown, Gene Wojciechowski's essay on the true contenders and pretenders.
For most teams, the first quarter of this 4-quarter season is done. As September inches toward October, we're beginning to separate the contenders from the pretenders. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, maybe even Notre Dame, contenders. USC, Arkansas, Michigan State, Virginia Tech, pretenders. Oregon, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Clemson, Florida State, who knows? They haven't played anybody yet. That all begins to change this Saturday. At last, some big boy football for those teams who have feasted on FCS programs playing for a paycheck. Oregon plays Arizona. Oklahoma plays K-State. Clemson plays FSU. West Virginia plays, well, West Virginia doesn't really play anybody until Baylor on September 29th. So, what have we learned a quarter way through the season? For starters, we've learned how quickly you can go from a preseason Heisman Trophy favorite to a Heisman Trophy long shot. Say hello to USC's Matt Barkley, OU's Landry Jones, and Wisconsin's Monte Ball. Even Michigan's Denard Robinson was almost on Heisman waivers. We've learned that Bama is number 1, and number 2 isn't even close. We've learned that Louisville's Charlie Strong is an early Coach of the Year possibility, and Arkansas's John L. Smith isn't. We've learned that anything can happen, and by anything I mean Western Kentucky over Kentucky, Pittsburgh over Virginia Tech, and Oregon State over Wisconsin. Most of all, we've learned that 3 games doesn't make a season. The fun is just beginning.
So true. Many more surprises here in the 2012 campaign. Halftime in Pittsburgh. We'll be right back with our Capital One Impact Performance of the Half coming up next. Welcome back to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, where the Panthers lead Gardner Webb from the FBS, a score of 27-10. Sean Kinney alongside John Gregory. And John, not too many surprises in the first half of football. The defense for Pitt really stepping up, but special teams critical as well.
Yeah, special teams was kind of the factor outside of Pitt's defense. You know, they got field position. They were able to give themselves an opportunity offensively with taking advantage of that, and they put a lot of points on the board because what their defense was able to do today.
The Pitt offense started the football on the Gardner Webb side 5 different times in that first half. Now, for Pitt, they kind of started to get some passing rhythm developed, especially late in the first half. Your assessment of Tino Sunseri's performance?
Well, I think he's doing a tremendous job. He's been efficient with the football today. He hasn't turned the ball over, and he's found his open receivers. He's spread it around, but what I like is their offensive line has given him plenty of time, and anytime there's been some play action, he's been able to find his big receivers down the field.
It's time now for our Capital One Cup performance of the half, and no doubt about it, the Pitt defense rising to the occasion.
Well, we mentioned Gordon, young linebacker, his ability to do there, but blue shirts all over the field. Just 2 of 8 Gardner Webb's offense is on third down conversions, trying to pick stuff up. They just have not been able to do it, and this defense has stood up all day, and you can see the pressure on the quarterback, whether it's stopping the run or making plays down the field defensively. This entire defensive players have stood up for them today.
Gardner Webb just 73 yards offense in the first half. So if you're in that locker room right now for the running Bulldogs, if you're John Dickerson Jr., what do you do to try to get back in this game?
Well, again, you focus on yourself first, and that's what they're going to have to do. That's what Pitt wanted to do coming into this ball game, and it's not going to change for either team. They're going to go in there, they're going to try to work on some of the mistakes. They had some mental mistakes, some penalties really hurt the Bulldogs, but they just need to focus on themselves. If they do that, they'll have an opportunity to come out here, and they just want to be able to do that and have a good showing here in the second half.
One thing we should mention, Pitt is doing it without their preseason All-American down tackle, Aaron Donald, not in uniform, so some of that depth getting a chance to get game experience today.
And you can't beat game experience. Having that opportunity out there is just going to create better things for later on in the year, but some of the young guys on this team has created an excitement, I think, for this Pitt defense, and it really shows today out of the field.
3 different Panthers have scored in the first half. We'll take a look back at the first half numbers when we come back. Halftime from Pittsburgh, all Panthers right now, 27-10. Welcome back to Heinz Field, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Right now the Panthers on top. Gardner Webb making their way back onto the field. Let's go down to the field. We're on Tina McCann with the head running Bulldog.
All right, thanks, guys. Here with Coach Dickerson. And, Coach, what did you say to your guys at the half?
I just told them they got to come out here and keep believing. You know, we're the only ones here that support us. We're in this boat. We're in uncharted waters, but as long as they stay together and believe, hey, great things are going to happen.
Pitt has been scoring very quickly on offense. Did you say anything special to the defense about that?
You know, actually, they're doing a good job. I mean, you got one of the best running backs in the country, and he broke a long one on us, but we've done a good job in keeping them contained. You know, and it's just coming down to us getting better as a team and doing the little things. And, you know, there's a lot of great guys that came out of that locker room, and they're excited to play the second half.
And what did you learn about your team in the first half of this game?
We got so much heart. These guys believe in each other. That's a great group of young men right there.
All right, thanks, Coach. Let's head back upstairs to Sean and John.
All right, thank you, Ron, Tina. And I think in their team with a lot of heart, and I think that came out in the first half. They competed against this Pitt team.
Absolutely, and I think that's part of when you go in there at halftime, you start looking at yourself and say, how are we going to compete? Are we getting better each week? And that's what you have to do, focus on yourself.
You look at the running backs, the two that we focused on before the broadcast today. Ray Graham, 4 carries, 82 yards, but remember, 78 of those came on one gallop, the touchdown run in the first quarter. The GW defense has done a nice job containing Russell Shell, just a 1.7 yard per carry average.
Again, field position, I think, dictates a lot of that. He's been on. He was in there the second quarter mostly, and Graham had the first quarter where they had not as good field position, so Shell hasn't had the opportunity to pick up as many yards. But again, anytime he gets the ball down by the goal line, they're going to look to put that big, powerful back in there and try to see if they can't get it in there.
You look at the first half numbers dominated by the Pitt defense, just 73 yards total offense for Gardner Webb, and a good chunk of those yards on their first 2 drives. They were not able to get anything started in the second quarter.
No, and again, a lot of that credit has to go to this Pitt defense as we talk here at halftime about how well they're playing. You got to give them a lot of credit. They are swarming and taking advantage of every opportunity they get.
One thing that might go unnoticed, the play of Tino Sunseri in the first half, 13 of 18, 204 yards in the touchdown pass to Devin Street.
I really like what he does. He's finding his receivers down the field. He's not panicking. And I think that's because that senior leadership that he has. He's been in all kinds of games and has plenty of starts, but he's been very efficient with the football, and he's finding his big receivers, and they're making plays for him.
Sunseri spread the ball out in the first half as he hooked up with 5 different receivers. Devin Street, the touchdown catch. He has 4 grabs for 79 yards. You see Mike Shanahan there, 2 catches for 38. Plus, we saw a little bit more of Cam Sadler, and I know Pitt fans would love to see more of that in a couple weeks once they start the Big East schedule.
Absolutely. It's a great combination there, and as I mentioned too, Hubie Graham, their tight end, when he gets in there and is a part of all this, and that offense starts clicking, then you're really going to see those numbers go up.
Mike Shanahan continues to work his way up, climbing up the ladder, if you will, on the all-time grades here at Pittsburgh as far as receptions. 115 for Shanahan. You see him closing in when it's all said and done. Highly likely, barring any injury, he's going to be in the top 10 in the Pitt ranks, and that's saying something when you saw that list of names. Right behind him, climbing up the ladder on the rushing totals, Ray Graham for Pittsburgh. You see him on the bike, entering today the 9th highest total among the great long list of running backs for Pitt football. Through the years, you think of all the great running backs, whether it's Tony Dorsett, whatever the case might be. Lots of history with this program. Tino Sunseri doing some adjustments here. His offense will be on the field first as he is chatting with the offensive coordinator, Joe Rudolph, who likes to be up in the press box during the games, calling it from the coach's box next to us. Paul Christ, his first season guiding this Pittsburgh program. A terrible start. The loss to Youngstown State, one of the true shockers of this college football season. Then they were bounced by Cincinnati. Able to put everything together. He talked about progression, keeping a steady flow with his team, a steady tempo, and you know, I sense no panic among the coaches. They were able to take care of business.
And that's his demeanor on the sideline, whether it was Virginia Tech last week when they were up on them, nothing changes. He doesn't get too emotional. When Tino Sunseri threw the ball away earlier this year at the end of the first half and kind of, let one go, he just grabbed him, put his arm around him as they walked in at halftime and discussed it. He's not a fiery type guy, at least on the sidelines here. He may be in practice in a different demeanor there, but I really love his game day demeanor.
Pitt will get the football first as the Panthers Right to left, and a shoestring tackle up ahead to the 25 to the 26-yard line. Lafayette Pitts, who already has a long kick return in this one. That time he was tripped up just to see, got the motor going. All right, if you're Pitt, let's talk adjustments, if any, offensively. Do they try to establish maybe a little more Russell Shell, Isaac Bennett, Ray Graham in the second half?
You want to keep spreading it around, and it's about learning this offense. It's about getting yourself prepared for the Big East and in the conference play that's coming up. But right now, I think it's just take advantage of your opportunities out there and see what they give you and play with it.
Sunseri floats right, throws a strike at the 41-yard line. Devin Street with his 5th catch of the game, up ahead to the 41, 16 yards. Pretty good coverage there by Brandon Swayze. What a throw.
Yeah, or just go back to Devin Street again. If you're wondering what to do, go to what's been successful, and that's finding the big guy. And Devin Street has done a nice job of finding the openings, and Sunseri has been right on the money every time he throws the football to him.
Lazenga, the fullback, in motion for this first down play. Straight drop, Sunseri. Near sideline, wide open is Shanahan. First down, and he is pushed out at the 34-yard line by Drew White. Had to be a breakdown in the secondary for the running Bulldogs.
Bulldogs coverage and two deep coverage. When they see that, it's a great opportunity to throw corner patterns here, and Sunseri has a nice ball. You can see good release, and when you have a big receiver in the outside, that's an easy throw for a quarterback to throw that corner pattern.
So after just 2 plays, Pitt has marched it down to the Gardner Webb 34-yard line. Sunseri right back to the air. Here comes pressure, and down he goes. He is sacked back at the 45-yard line. Shaquille Riddick, the sophomore out of Akron, Ohio.
At times, Sunseri holding the football a little bit longer. He was looking for his tight end. Weatherspoon going down the middle of the field. Again, 2 deep coverage. You got corner or dead or straight down the middle. No safeties down the center that time, but unable to get the ball away.
Sean Kenny alongside John Gregory and Rontina McCam. We're at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Gardner Webb running Bulldogs on defense right now. Pittsburgh with Ray Graham over the right side. Not much there. Riddick again in on the stop.
Down by 98, Riddick.
Pitt looking at a 3rd and long.
Gain to the 39-yard line. Gain of 4, gain of 5, 3rd down, 15.
3rd and 15 for Sunseri. They'll put Street to the top of the field. Sadler and Shanahan both split to the bottom. Great pass protection. Sunseri over the middle. Sadler with a heck of a catch. First down at the 21-yard line. 19 yards. He beat Drew White. That's a couple of nice grabs by Sadler today.
And the Bulldogs defense hasn't changed. You can see the 2 safeties kind of vacating that area of the defense, kind of a man under coverage that time. It's a long developing play, but you can see him coming across the field, and again, they're dropping their safeties about 25 yards deep, and they've been open underneath that all night long.
5 catches, 82 yards for Sadler. First down, Ray Graham gets the call. Graham still running with that brace on his knee. Mac Goods, the down tackle, the first one to hit Graham. Graham was off to a terrific start last year. In fact, through the first 7 games, he was 2nd in the country in yards per game, right around 134 yards. He injured the knee against UConn. Slowly building confidence. I think that's an injury where mentally it just takes a while to get confidence, especially for a running back. Sunseri under pressure, and for the 2nd time on this drive, down he goes. A marker comes in as well. Bradley Taylor with the sack. Let's see what the penalty is.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Maybe a blow to the head, personal foul. Let's watch Taylor.
That is a very hard, difficult call on Bradley Taylor, because you're rushing in there, and he did nothing. The quarterback leaned his head in, or just kind of bent forward, and Sunseri here just trying to.
Oh boy, that is a tough call on Bradley Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, and I can understand why Coach Dickerson on the sideline there is talking with the official, because Clearly, I think if that official had another chance to look at this, he didn't even make contact with the helmet. It was his shoulder that went there. That was just a great play, and one that you just have to throw out because you got to give Bradley Taylor. He did a nice job on that play. He did nothing wrong.
So inside the 10, first and goal. Sunseri on a handoff to Graham, and nothing cooking this time for Ray Graham. Gianni Olivas, the strong safety. And on the tackle, 15 tackles coming in, 8 career interceptions for the strong safety Olivas, the junior from Upland, California. Preseason All Big South selection. Put a linebacker on Shanahan. You see Shanahan, number 87, the slot to the near side. Sunseri keeps it on the ground. Graham looking for his second touchdown of the game, denied. Brought down inside the 5. Again, it's Olivas with the stop.
I think that's where Graham is most dangerous, when he is kind of running to the left. I love his ability to cut back to the right. You can see when he breaks a lot of his runs, they end up cutting. He was going to his left and cuts back to his right. His ability to do that, boy, is as good as anybody in the country.
Third down and goal for Pitt. Panthers looking for their largest lead of the game. Sunseri, slant, Shanahan, touchdown, Panthers.
Patience at the quarterback position. He's staring at Shanahan the whole time. He knows where he was going to go in a pre-snap read. Got a mismatch on a guy that's 6'5" on a small defensive back at 5'10". He knew pre-snap he wanted to go to him. It's just a matter of waiting, giving him time to beat the defender. And when he did that, he just delivers a strike to him for the touchdown.
Kevin Harper with the point after as Mike Shanahan, his second touchdown catch of the season. 4-yard quick slant. Sunseri's thrown for a couple. Pitt rolling right now. There you see some of the dance moves. Some of the fans here having a little fun at Heinz Field. John Gregory, that's not you and the man in gold next to those girls, is it? That you in your younger days?
No, but I enjoy their enthusiasm. 34-10, why not? Enjoy it all.
Pittsburgh puts together their most impressive drive of this game. They go 9 plays, 75 yards, use up a little more than 4.5 minutes. And it's Sunseri to Mike Shanahan. J.J. Hubbard on the return, stretches out past the 30 to the 34-yard line. Cam Sadler, Mike Shanahan, 2 big games by those receivers, but their connection goes well before they arrived in Pittsburgh. With more on that story, here is Ron Tina.
That's right. They played in high school, and actually Pitt has Sadler to thank for Shanahan coming here. Sadler had already committed. He came up to Mike Shanahan before their game. They played against each other. He says, "I'm the reason you're not going to play college football." And Shanahan at the time wasn't, so that motivated him, and he laughs. He says that's the reason he wanted to come to Pitt. They both ended up here, of course, and they're roommates, guys.
Well, I think with the way Sadler can motivate, I think maybe when he graduates, Pitt might think of bringing him back to be a recruiting coordinator if he's that type of motivator, because Mike Shanahan's one heck of a college football player.
Yeah, and can you imagine him not wanting to play college football? That's, the Pitt fans may have thanked Sadler for saying that to him, because they enjoy having him on this football team. That's a great story.
Shanahan now tied for 12th in all-time receptions at Pitt.
Can you see him just standing across the line? I'm the reason you're not going to college. You're not going to play in college.
Great stuff.
Talking smack.
Tyrone Easel in on the play there as he blows up Kenny Little in the backfield. And Gardner Webb, after that first couple of series, just cannot muster anything consistently against this Pitt D.
Brings up 3rd down and 13.
Ron Dickerson Jr. trying to dial up something successful against the Pitt D, but Dave Huxtable's crew has really been solid today. Doing it with a lot of different bodies as well. 3rd down, Beatty's going to throw underneath pattern. Cranfield makes the catch, but he is tackled immediately by Shane Gordon. Well shy of the 1st down, and Gardner Webb to send out the punting unit.
Now the matchup is just not there for this Gardner Webb offense. They don't have the ability really to run by them. And from the defensive front standpoint, Pitt has been able to put a lot of pressure on their quarterback, so he doesn't have the time to get the ball down the field, and they just have not been able to convert on 3rd down.
It's been an adventure for the punter Bo Lindsay today. A couple of bad punts. Here comes the pressure, and he gets this one away. Wobbler toward the near side. This one will go out of bounds around the 25-yard line. Sunseri and the Panthers taking care of business opening drive in this 2nd half.
Now it's kind of you want to talk about ball control offense, but they're doing it getting in chunks there, and kind of a bad call there for Gardner Webb's defense, unfortunately for them, and Pitt's taking advantage of it. And Mike Shanahan going in for another touchdown, but boy, their offense has picked up yards in chunks on that drive.
Russell Shell, the lone setback behind Sunseri. Shanahan in motion. This is Shell, a little bit of a hole. And the freshman tumbles forward to the 25-yard line. Bradley Taylor's really been active defensively for Gardner Webb. Another tackle for the Oak Ridge Military Academy star, Taylor. Get a good look at Sunseri, and certainly he has been criticized through the years, but one thing is he's always out there, consistent. We talked about him. He's very durable. His 30th consecutive start. Now he's put together back-to-back weeks for the Panthers where he's put up good numbers. This is Shell weaving his way through the running Bulldogs secondary. 2-3 guys to bring him down. Taylor and Olivas finally corral the powerful youngster from Pitt.
Well, you can see him. He wants to cut it up. You get the feel, and he wants to do that. And as soon as he gets that opportunity, you get the feel these fans, either when him or Ray Graham touches the ball, they just kind of know at any given second that these guys can break it, as Graham did on that 78-yarder in the first half.
3rd and short. And the officials stop the action here. Looks like they stopped the clock. They want an official measurement. The Pitt sideline wanting the chains to come out, so the officials will oblige that. They're going to bring them out. From our angle, looks like it's going to be just a little bit short. And it is. Shell, coming off his first 100-yard game last week, has been bottled up for the most part. He has the one touchdown, but a pretty good job of the Gardner Webb defense on him.
Yeah, they've done a nice job tonight corralling him, and we mentioned just give him one little crease there and an opportunity to score, and he'll show why he was one of the highest recruited athletes in the country.
He's third in short situations, tailor-made for the size of Russell Shell. Carswell in motion. He will run behind a block, break through a tackle, pick up the first down, and then some. Up ahead to the 45-yard line. Good kick-out block by the fullback, Lazenga. Will leave us another stop. First down, Pitt.
Well, the thing about him, too, and you watch him finish at the end of this run here, that's what he likes, is the contact. But they weren't necessarily sure exactly what they had in camp. He was banged up during camp and, they knew they had a talent there, but didn't get the opportunity to see him as much as they have over the last two games, and just love the way he finishes after every run.
Yards after contact will be a key stat over the next 4 years for Pitt fans with Russell Shell.
Yes.
Stop by 91.
A lot of laughs right now by Dave Huxtable, the defensive coordinator. He has a reason to be smiling. His defense has really shined for the second straight week. And again, doing it without their leader up front and the senior Aaron Donald. From the 46, they will give it to Shell. Cuts inside. Shell up ahead to midfield. Picks up 5 more yards, setting up a 3rd and 3.
Stop by 17, Bradley Taylor.
Now the way they use these backs, whether it's Ray Graham first quarter and Shell in the second quarter, and they're back to allowing Shell here, it seems like, to work the third quarter. And the nice use of that is you just know your backs are going to get about a half a play in each football game, and that's going to save them, get ready for conference play.
Yeah, we really haven't seen the third back, Isaac Bennett, who I know the coaches are extremely high on, the sophomore out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Third down, Sunseri, slant pattern behind Shanahan. One of the rare misses by Tino Sunseri, and Pitt will send out the punting unit.
Well, we've talked about his accuracy tonight. Immediately he looks up and was going to go to Shanahan again, and unless there was somebody in his vision that was coming through, he was worried about a backer, but looks like he was wide open there, and that's just all on Sunseri throwing it behind his receiver.
Matt Yaklick on to punt for only the second time today. Hubbard awaiting the kick inside his 10. Gardner Webb's coming after it, nearly got to it. Yaklick with a good high kick. Hubbard having trouble, the fair catch signal, and he hauls it in on the bounce at the 10.
Fair catch. Flag.
There is a marker down where Hubbard hauled in the football, and there was some contact with him, so this might be an interference call on Pitt, giving the running Bulldogs some breathing room, and this offense needs it right now at this juncture.
And their sideline started screaming, please give us a call. Give us that opportunity. And that he just tripped them up, I think, with their feet. Got crossed up.
It's a 45-yard punt.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
Hubbard signaling fair catch. Inadvertent contact cost Pitt 15 yards. Gardner Webb with the football when we return from Heinz Field. Welcome back to Pittsburgh. Panthers right now on top of Gardner Webb, 34-10, 4:49 to go here in the third quarter. The running Bulldog offense not running today, 2.3 yards per play. Trying to change that as they throw the quick hitter to Kenny Little. Brian Murphy in on the tackle. They get positive yards, 2nd down and 4. Gardner Webb 4-9 all-time against the FBS. Their last win against an FBS program, 2010, beat the Akron Zips in overtime, a thriller, 38-37. Had a near miss with Georgia Tech a few years back, losing in Atlanta 10-7. Beatty, a play fake, throws over the middle, threads the needle in heavy traffic. Nice throw and catch. It's Carlton Hurd. Then he drug a couple of Pitt defenders with him up to the 41. And there is a marker where Beatty let that one fly.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 49 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Eric Williams a little too rough with Beatty.
Good look. You mentioned threading the needle here. Eric Williams delivering a frustrating for a guy coming off the edge, blitzing. Outside backer like that wants to get to the quarterback, was blocked well, and take his frustration out and add another 15 to it. But nice job by Beatty that time delivering that strike in here, and he did thread that needle.
It's been a while since Gardner Webb has penetrated the Pitt side of the field. They have it at the Panther 44. Straight drop by Beatty, flares it near side. Little with the catch, minimal gain. Danny Williams, Shane Gordon, the two linebackers. I've really been impressed. We've talked about the linebacking core for Pitt. I've been impressed with their athleticism today.
Yeah, and Gordon is that guy that provides that confidence and is getting comfortable at that position, and you can see it. I mean, you play with more speed when you understand what you're doing out there and you have that confidence. You just play with more speed.
Beatty, the reigning Big South Player of the Week. Get the running Bulldogs on the board. Pressure coming, throws underneath, incomplete. Marker comes in as well. Darrell Render was all tied up with Hubbard.
Holding. Number 91 of the defense.
It will be Render.
Against an eligible receiver. This is a 10-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Screen set up to the right side. You can see him get. Wow. Again, tough call. You got a defender, Render, out there just trying to cover somebody. He's been everywhere tonight.
Render and Easel, the two down tackles on this first down play from the 31. And there is a stop in the backfield. It's going to be Shane Hale, the senior. Again, we talked about the depth up front, getting some of these guys back, getting them repetitions. Hale was one of those guys. He was one of 6 players suspended in the opener against Youngstown State.
Got to kind of earn your way back there. You know, you can look and say, I was suspended. I contributed maybe to that loss, not being out there to help my football team, and got to earn your way back into the lineup.
See Carl motion, second down play. Beatty's looking for the end zone. Picked off. And it is Hendricks again. Jason Hendricks with the interception inside the 10. Picked off 2 passes last week. Had one overturned earlier tonight. This one's going to be safe. Great play by Hendricks.
Well, great speed coming out from that free safety position, just reading the quarterback's eyes, and gets over there, gets both feet in bounds, and shows great athleticism.
Jason Hendricks, the redshirt junior out of Brooklyn, New York. His 3rd interception in 2 weeks. The Pitt D continues to dominate. On top of Gardner Webb, 34-10. Let's go back to the interception again by Jason Hendricks.
Coach Chris said he's playing smart, and being smart is watching the quarterback's eyes this time, and he saw it, started to make a break in that direction from the very beginning, and that's what you want in your free safety. A guy that's going to read the quarterback's eyes, and you just can't have that. You got to be able to look him off if you're a quarterback, and when you have that much talent and speed at the safety position, you better look him off.
Hendricks started the first 7 games last year, but he missed the end of the season in the bowl game because of a shoulder injury sustained against the Utes of Utah. He is back fully healthy and a weapon in that secondary for the Pitt Panthers. First down give is to Graham, and he has stood up at the line of scrimmage. Check that, Russell Shell, the ball carrier. Good job there by Tanner Birch. Birch entered today 41 tackles, averaging 13 tackles per game. That's third in the FCS.
Second down, 9. At the 9.
By far the worst starting position on the day for Pitt. Quick throw out right side, bubble screen. Devin Street picks up a downfield block from his partner Shanahan. First down Panthers across the 20, up ahead to the 23-yard line.
Another wrinkle in Pitt's offense here. Get the ball out to your playmakers outside in a hurry. Normally they've been throwing the ball, advancing it up the field traditionally. Now they're going out to the outside, spreading the defense out for Gardner Webb and just kind of wearing them down.
First down, Sunsaria play fake. Has all sorts of time. Floats it to Shanahan, makes the catch. Shanahan down the side, picks up a block. Mike Shanahan, touchdown Pitt. 77 yards.
Wow, you mentioned it. He picked up a great block by Devin Street here and this is team offense right here. You can see him breaking away. Devin Street sees that. He comes back and helps his teammate out, and Shanahan takes it all the way in. But again, that's what team play is all about. That's what gets people excited on the sideline. And when you come over there, Devin Street, we're getting just as many high fives.
The receiver was able to stay
Shanahan.
in bounds and score a touchdown. This play is now under further review.
They're going to take a look. Shanahan tight roping the sideline. Not going to be enough there to overturn it, I don't think.
I have to agree with you. Just don't see it. Shouldn't take long.
Let's take one more look at it as Shanahan straddles the sideline.
After further video review, the call on the field stands. Touchdown.
He sees the block coming and he tries to lean. He leans into it. He actually knows he's either going to make it by an inch or get caught in that situation. He could see Devin Street coming back to make that block, and he tried to lean into it and was able to keep his feet in bounds.
Harper with the point after, and it's good. Mike Shanahan, the redshirt senior. 5 catches, 144 yards, and 2 more touchdown receptions for this terrific athlete in this final go-around as a Pitt Panther. Good look at Tino Sunseri, 18 of 24, 344 yards, 3 touchdowns today, and Sunseri, with his big game, continues to work his way up the ranks. Sunseri now has passed the great Tony Dorsett for 5th all-time on the Pitt list for total yards. See some of those names in front of him. Van Pelt, there you see a good look at Tony Dorsett. Sean Kenny alongside John Gregory. Ron Tina McCann with you. We're at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Gardner Webb running Bulldogs in some trouble, trailing Pitt 41-10. J.J. Hubbard waiting the return as Harper has been a busy kicker today. A couple of field goal attempts, lots of kickoffs with the offensive explosion from his Pitt Panthers. And over end kick, this will be Hubbard near his goal line. J.J. Hubbard chopped down well shy of the 20. A couple of markers come flying in as well. Think we're going to have a block in the back as Eric Williams is pleading his case.
During the return, legal block in the back. Number 32 for the return team. They have to distance the goal line. First down.
Wow. Dickerson, he's going to try to be positive here, but again, obvious right in front of the officials here, as you can see it, right in the middle of the screen.
Twice.
Two guys get him. And now they're going to be backed up again under the shadows of the goalpost. It's been a field position game all day long for this Pitt offense, and even when they haven't had it, they've been able to put drives together now, sustain those, and it's been a total team effort for Pitt today.
Good end zone shot. Two tight ends. The H-back moves into the backfield as they give it to Bam Bam. Jawan Blunt. Blunt scraping ahead past the 5 up to the 7-yard line. Shane Hale, another tackle for the Pitt Panthers as we wind down this third quarter. Again, the two tight end look for Lucas Beatty. What might be the final play of the period. They will keep it on the ground. Blunt gets the call. Tough nose running by Jawan Blunt, the sophomore out of Forest Hills High School. Eric Williams in on the stop on what should be the final play of this third period.
That is the end of the third quarter.
Questions coming into this game. Can Pitt keep up the enthusiasm, avoid a letdown after last week's high against Virginia Tech? Tino Sunseri, Mike Shanahan, Jason Hendricks all making sure there's no letdown today. Shanahan's second touchdown of the night has Pitt up big. We head to the fourth, all Panthers. 41-10, Pittsburgh on top as we get set to start the fourth quarter. Let's go down to Rontina McCann. Rontina?
Hey, the fans are singing Sweet Caroline, and I guess on this sideline things are going pretty good. They seem very relieved right now. I was standing behind the quarterback and his receivers standing around. They were talking about Devin Street's block and Shanahan's touchdown and just how things seem to be coming together for this team, and a big sigh of relief. I was here for the Youngstown State game, definitely a turnaround in the last couple weeks.
Week to week, day by day, being a former coach and player, you know how that goes, John, with this Pitt team, and there was no panic after the first 2 weeks. They were able to get some bodies back in uniform. That was first and foremost, and now back-to-back wins here as they build momentum for the Big East stretch.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see from a coaching standpoint is the guys on the sideline, not only focusing on the guy that scored the touchdown, but the great block, and everybody knows what's going out on the field. And then the next thing that comes into play when you start beating somebody 41-10, when you get backups in there, they have an opportunity to play. Then you see the starters off the bench watching other guys.
Boy, slippery football. Beatty lost it twice, and the second one, I believe, will cost him. Pitt pointing as if they have it. It's all Panthers around the football at the 5-yard line. It'd be a miracle if Gardner Webb comes away, but they do not. Pitt ball at the 5, Shane Hale.
Well, you mentioned slippery football. He had it once, had it a second time, and boy, just nothing's going right for this Gardner Webb offense today.
Devin Cook, number 92, after Beatty regathered it, he was the one who knocked it free a second time, and then Hale able to recover it. And on a day that Pitt has dominated field position, this is their best of the afternoon at the Gardner Webb 5. Isaac Bennett is the tailback. It will be Bennett getting the call straight up the gut. Pretty nasty collision. Tanner Birch, the sophomore, bringing the hard hit that time. 2nd and goal.
Now the one thing you can't do is fault this Gardner Webb, what they're trying to do, how they're playing hard and doing those type of things. They haven't given up, and Coach Dickerson talked about the heart, and they talked about having winners in that locker room at halftime, and that's what they're showing here regardless of what the score is on that scoreboard.
2nd down and goal. They will run it right side. Bennett looking for the end zone. 2nd and 3rd effort. Touchdown. Isaac Bennett. And Pitt continues to spread it around.
Yards after contact. Bennett said, not just Shell, I can do it as well. Coach Dickerson again. Their defense handed it bad. The ball that close to the end zone, and Pitt taking advantage of opportunities again.
Paul Christ and his Pitt Panthers, he brought the pro-style offense back to this campus. They have the running backs to pull it off. Isaac Bennett, power football, Pitt up big. Pitt rolling by Gardner Webb today. 13:37 to go, fourth quarter, 48-10. Don't forget, ESPN College Football is available anytime, anywhere on your computer or mobile device via watchespn.com and the Watch ESPN app. This Pitt offense coming off their highest output in 12 years last week, 537 yards. Their highest since 584 yards back in 2000 against Boston College. John Gregory, they are heading down that path with over 13 minutes to go. 494 put up by Pitt in this one.
They've done it in all kinds of ways, whether it's running the football through the air. They've just been very consistent offensively tonight.
Pitt's 48 points, the most since 2009 when they beat Buffalo 54-27. And now Ron Dickerson Jr., I think for him it's trying to put together a drive. You know, this team showed the ability to move the football very early on in this game, but some penalties and negative plays just taking them out of any type of rhythm offensively. And a lot of that obviously to the Pitt defense.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of frustrating for him, sort of a homecoming for him, and wanted to show well with his team, and unfortunately, whether it's, you know, a bad punt or whatever, they've just been behind the 8 ball all day.
First down give, change of direction for Kenny Little. Manny Williams, who has been all over the field today, in on the stop. So the backup quarterback for Pitt starting to get loose, Trey Anderson, the sophomore. Probably going to see him the next time Panther offense takes the field.
Second down.
Both these teams have byes next week, and we'll look at schedules a little bit later on in this broadcast. But certainly Sunseri can go into the bye week feeling pretty good.
Yeah, big smile on the face, feeling good.
6, Little.
Second down give, it's Little again, not much there. Kanan Mosley Smith,
95 on the tackle.
true sophomore out of Pittsburgh, in on the tackle. Bringing up a third down. The running game, it's been tough going. 26 rushes for this Gardner Webb team today for 32 yards. And again, no Aaron Donald patrolling the middle. The normal anchor for this Pitt D-line.
And one of the things we said, too, is this Gardner Webb's offensive front is, you know, kind of the strong part of this team. So, you know, that says something for this Pitt defensive front today.
Third down coming up, Beatty from the gun. Has time, looks, now the pocket collapses and he will go down. That's a secondary sack. Shane Hale, who's been all over the field, seen extended time today. Hale with the sack.
Nowhere to go with the football here as a quarterback. You feel helpless. You want to get it down the field, and then you try to tuck it to try to pick up some yards, and again, nowhere to go.
Cam Sadler awaiting the punt from Bo Lindsey. Lindsey inside his 5-yard line. He's had his back against the goal all afternoon. Pitt sets up the return. Good kick by Lindsey. Got all of this one. Sadler on the back pedal toward the sideline, out of bounds. So Lindsey's had a couple of tough ones go off the side of his foot. Not the case there. Absolute bomb delivered. Mike Shanahan, it's a career day for Shanahan. 5 catches, 144 yards, and like we've seen so many times, yards after catch.
Yeah, and catch the ball in your hand when you're that big, down by the goal line, they'll find you all the time. And being able to stay in bounds here, his athletic ability goes along with that size, and that makes a very productive player.
Career game for number 87, Mike Shanahan. We get our first look at Trey Anderson. And sophomore will hand the football off to Isaac Bennett. Anderson out of Pearland, Texas. 6 foot, 185 pounder.
Shanahan's just listed at 225 pounds, but like you said, it looks like a tight end out there. It just looks bigger than 225 pounds, and you just wonder, does he have an opportunity to play at the next level? And, you know, do they move him in? Tight end, put some weight on him, but boy, he looks bigger than 225. He's just a nice target out there.
Second down and 6. Bennett with the call, and he has some room. Isaac Bennett to midfield, up ahead to the 43-yard line.
Well, why do they like him? Just another guy that can explode out of there, and he sees it and hits it.
See the push on the left side by the Pitt offensive line. Shane Johnson, the reserve guard, through the key block there for Pitt. Carswell in motion, first down, play fake. Anderson's going to throw. Bootlegs right, throws on the run, has his man. Ronald Jones with the catch near the 20-yard line, stepped out around the 22. Good throw and catch.
Good action throwing on the run, Trey Anderson. A guy that impressed everybody during camp. Mentioned a scholarship awarded. Pearland, Texas. You know, that's something when you can come out, walk on, earn that opportunity, and get the trust of the players around you.
Double-digit yardage, at least close to it for Isaac Bennett. Yeah, you mentioned Anderson. He's a winner. He led his high school in Texas to the 5A state championship. He's the school's all-time leader in passing yards, over 4,600 yards, 41 touchdowns. So he knows how to throw the football.
Yeah, 16-0 record. Yeah, talk about a winner.
Anderson has Pitt knocking on the doorstep. A little counter-type action. Bennett's going to go in untouched. Isaac Bennett with his second touchdown of the game. And this locomotive we call the Pitt offense continues to chug along.
Yeah, can you say Wisconsin football? Pounded on the ground, have great running backs, ability to use that big offensive line, and you can see something developing here. And that man right there, Paul Chryst, likes what he sees.
Point after is up and good for Kevin Harper. Isaac Bennett, couple of touchdowns. You see the power, you see the block from Carswell. And Pitt just rolling on in tonight.
Running into the kicker on the defense. Penalties decline. Point after touchdown is good. Timeout.
One of the Bulldog defenders running into the kicker. 55-10 Pitt late here in the They just continue to dance the night away as we move into the early evening here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Absolutely gorgeous venue. Beautiful fall night. We had the threat of rain early before kickoff, but it has stayed perfect for this one, and it's perfect if you're a Pitt Panther. 55-10 Pittsburgh. Still 9 minutes to go in this one. Harper with the kick. J.J. Hubbard near the 5. Hubbard up ahead of the 20. Markers come flying in again as Hubbard pushes up near the 23-yard line. And again, markers down in the vicinity of a block in the back.
During the return, look at block in the back. Number 32, the return team. Penalties half the distance to the goal line, first down.
That is the 8th penalty for Gardner Webb, and twice now on kickoff returns. Just can't do it in the open like they're doing.
D. Littlejohn here blocks him in the back. I mean, that's about as obvious, maybe, as I've ever seen. I don't know why you would do that in that situation right there. You realize the guy is right in front of you, and you see his number. You can see the name on the jersey, and you still reach your hands out and push, and that's really kind of an uncalled for thing, and that's the thing coach is going to work on and trying to see who wants to be out there, who wants to play, and do the little things right.
Beatty and this Gardner Webb offense simply cannot escape the shadow of their own goal. They will give it up the middle to Kenny Little. Nicholas Grigsby in on the stop. Coach Dickerson Jr. told us his 2 keys coming into this one to try to keep it close, establish the run, and avoid the turnover. Running the football tonight, 27 carries for 29 yards. They've coughed it up 3 times. Points off turnovers hurting him. He mentioned progress week to week.
Yep.
I think defensively at times he has something to build upon today.
Yeah, offensively they've struggled somewhat this year in their ball games, and thought they had something big last week. Some things started going the right direction, but they've just run up against a buzzsaw today. This Pitt defense is playing with an awful lot of confidence, and you know, I bet you he coming in here, he thought that they could make this a football game. Just hasn't gone in their direction today from any standpoint, whether it's special teams, offense, or defense.
See a good look at Ron Dickerson Jr., his father, who really is a coaching legend. Coach at Temple, one of the first African-American coaches named to a Division I program. His father is actually on the Gardner Webb staff. 3rd down 7, play fake. Beatty steps up amidst the pressure, and he throws to Cranfield, the tight end. First down up ahead to the 31-yard line. And that's something he talked about, just listening to all the different people that he has worked for, whether it was Houston Nutt at Ole Miss, Tony Dungy when he was an intern back in the 2001 year, and obviously his father.
Yeah, and it's about family to him, whether he's talking about his personal family or the football family and what they wanted to grow from a community down there in Gardner Webb's school and their community, how small it is and how everybody knows everybody, and you get a feeling that's what he likes about it.
He described it as a one-stoplight town. Throw near side, caught up ahead to the 34-yard line. And not every student is suited for Gardner Webb, and we had this discussion with him as well. That is a religious private institution. All different denominations are welcome. He was talking how he has a Mormon on his team, to a Jehovah Witness, to an American Samoa.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about it. That's why they go across the country, and they have to recruit. But the one thing he liked about that one stoplight town is everybody knew everybody. But the one bad thing about it is everybody knew everybody. When you did something wrong, you can see it there. Enrollment 4,300.
2nd down, Beatty looking left, now changes, throws underneath. His 3rd or 4th option was Cranfield, a sure-handed target, makes the catch. Not quite enough for the first down. You look at the Gardner Webb campus, it is a dry campus. There is no drinking, no smoking allowed. Students are fined if they are caught. They discourage the use of profanity. You have to go 6 miles to find a pub or an establishment. It's just a different type of setting where faith and family are the key focuses, and that's why it was refreshing talking with him and the players this week, getting that perspective. He mentioned he does not have the recruiting tools that a Pitt or some of these FBS programs have, but they use what they have. They're currently putting up a $45 million union facility to house all the students in there, a rock climbing wall, huge cafeteria, things like that on their campus in North Carolina.
Yep, and all those things help in the recruiting process. Having facilities, and you see some of their fans making the trip up here to watch the ball game.
Fourth down
Prior
coming
to the
up.
Snap, delay game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
This will cost the running Bulldogs 5 yards. It's a Gardner Webb team that has 2 Big South championships. In fact, they won the inaugural season when they joined the Big South back in 2002. Back-to-back championships in 02 and 03. They had 2 Southern Atlantic championships as well. They were the NAIA runner-up in 1992. So certainly a program with some history. Pittsburgh right now leading Gardner Webb. We're late in the fourth quarter. Panthers big. .55 points put up by Pittsburgh, the most since 1999. In fact, the most points they've scored here at Heinz Field. Paul Christ and company. Panthers rolling big as we go down to the field. Rontina McCann. And we'll check back in with Rontina, having a quick microphone issue there. We'll check in with her as she talks about some of the walk-ons and a couple of scholarships awarded to walk-on players here at Pitt this week. Touchdown give, and we're going to get our 4th running back of the day. Let's go back to Rontina. She's ready. Rontina.
You guys were just talking about the Gardner Webb program and all they have to offer. Here in Pittsburgh, you have the chance that if you come as a walk-on to earn a scholarship, you talked about Trey Anderson, but also fullback Mark Jubilato. He turned down full rides at Temple and Navy for the chance to walk on at Pitt. Earned a scholarship. His backup is playing for him today, Adam Lazanga. He did the same thing and was awarded his scholarship just this week.
Yeah, that has to be a special feeling when you put in the time, as we get a look at Crockett twisting and turning his way past the 40 up to the 41 as a walk-on. Life's tough, let's face it, especially at the FBS level, and then to get that call into the visit as far as talking with the coach into his office and being told, hey son, we're rewarding you with a scholarship. I mean, that just really has to be a rewarding experience.
And to go through all that and then to be able to get that, there may be not a better feeling out there for a kid that, because as you well know, a walk-on just plays because he loves the game and just wants an opportunity, and then to be given a scholarship because of that.
Ball start. Number 32 of the offense.
Really has to make the family proud as well.
You heard Rontina mention Lazenga awarded a scholarship this week. So was Emmanuel Racker, the backup strong side linebacker. Paul Chryst, who used a lot of walk-ons at Wisconsin, turned them into key contributors for the Badgers throughout his 6 years there. Inside 4 minutes to go as Trey Anderson on his second series will give it to Crockett. And Crockett is stood up by Tanner Birch and also O.J. Mao. And we need to mention O.J., the American Samoan, playing, and we understand we have a lot of people watching from his neck of the woods tuning in to see him start his first game as a Gardner Webb running Bulldog.
Yeah, how excited is he? Just a young guy, 17 years old and wide-eyed, and has the opportunity of a lifetime ahead of him.
He actually played on the American Samoa team in the 2012 Oceanic Bowl. That team defeated Australia 93-7. There's a running catch over the far side for Pittsburgh, getting good yardage. For the Panthers was their backup wide receiver, Ed Tinker.
Pitt continuing to run their offense, gets a great block on the outside for a wide receiver. And again, these are not your starters in there, but guys making blocks down the field. You can see guys hustling. And again, Pitt sidelines, the players are not sitting on the bench. They're off. They're watching their guys and encourage them. So the starters are out there encouraging their backups, and that's when you know that your team's coming together.
Penetration by the true freshman. You just spotted there with Mao making the play. O.J. Mao, 93-7. And that was not Australian rules football. They beat Australia bad there, and you get a good look at Mao. Let's watch him on this play.
Remember, just a 17-year-old kid that's be 18 here in the next week or two.
Shedding off the blocker, making the stop. 2nd down and 8 from the 27. Anderson back on the ground to Crockett over the left side. Crockett pushes ahead to the 23. Inside 2 minutes to go in this one. Now looking back at Pitt, Panthers able to take care of business offensively and defensively. As we look ahead, see the offense, 648 yards, the record. They continue to get closer, 621. You do the math, they're at the 23-yard line right now. Panthers can punch in one more with their reserves. 3rd down and 5, Crockett with a full head of steam. He's tripped up shy of the 20. Take a look at what Pitt has coming up. We mentioned the bye week next weekend. Then they have the trip to Syracuse on October 5th. 20th ranked Louisville will be in town. Non-conference game at Notre Dame. Finish up the year at USF.
Well, they certainly have a lot of positive momentum going. I think these last 2 weeks have done wonders for this football team and for the fan base that Pitt has here. Little questions after that first week, but they start to feel a little bit better about themselves.
Handoff is to Crockett on 4th down. He will stretch ahead. It'll be close depending on the spot. Just 30 seconds to go. Good look at Russell Shell and Ray Graham. Both of those running backs scored today. Pitt really spread it out. Take a look at the running Bulldog schedule. Here's what Gardner Webb has coming up in the Big South Conference. They have a bye next week. They will travel to Liberty, who's under a new command, as Turner Gill, the former Kansas coach, running the Liberty program. This one's going to wind down. The two coaches meet at midfield. Paul Chryst for Pittsburgh, Ron Dickerson Jr. for Gardner Webb. And the first meeting between these two programs in the books, and the Pitt athleticism, the Pitt defense, really the story today.
Yeah, no question about it. I think, you got to talk about an entire team effort, whether it's special teams, offense or defense, Pitt really enjoyed a spectacular day on all sides of the ball.
So for John Gregory, I'm Sean Kenny saying so long from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, where your final score is Pittsburgh 55, Gardner Webb 10. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.